spirit about
No,
things.
I don't.
You're in the bike lane. Hey, shut
Not
up.
on Sunday, you silly
No
boy.
one's ran him over.
Don't you love cyclists? They're bigger assholes than
He
you.
was on his phone.
Cruel to
He
you.
was on his phone.
Hey, what is it with cyclists? Middle-aged men cyclists. Totters.
In tights.
In tights. Mammals. Middle-aged men in light.
Good
Absolute
afternoon, all.
Wow, he's starting to make sense. Something's
Right, we
wrong.
agree. Even the lady in yellow.
So, good afternoon, all. My name is Wendell Daniel, and welcome to StreetMic, and we're coming to you live and direct, and we're 40 minutes late. And the reason I'm late today, it was pissing down with rain earlier on, and as you know, I will not go live when it's pissing down because I've got better things to do. But this is going to be a short day today, and very soon I will be engaging with a doctor who claims she has been struck off by the General Medical Council. So in a few moments we'll be engaging with a doctor who claims she has been struck off by the General Medical Council. So big up. And we are at the corner. Last week the corner was shut, but we're back today. Let's listen to the cowboy.
What happens is there's a door that's open. That's a spiritual door. That Jesus Christ was the door. And that door opened so that I could have a way to God of forgiveness.
Have you walked through it?
Jesus walked through it for me.
But you haven't.
He is the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. When you believe in Him, Steve, you're set free from yourself. That's what I'm saying.
You still haven't defined what that means.
Your sins are forgiven.
So you can do bad shit, but you'll get away with it.
No.
Big up bad shit.
Well,
that's what you're just saying.
No,
You can sin, but then you'll get
that's
forgiveness.
what you're
And then you
saying.
can sin again.
I didn't
And
say
then you
that.
can get a bit more forgiveness.
That's-
Sounds crazy
Steve,
to me.
It does, but I understand where you're...
Sin, forgiveness, sin, forgiveness,
Yes.
sin, forgiveness. What a crazy moral compass.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean...
How about just not sinning?
How about just not getting forgiveness?
Well, surely it's better not to sin in the first place than get forgiveness.
All have sinned. All have fallen
So I can
short.
go and murder someone, but then I can get forgiveness,
Steve,
and that's okay.
You're not listening.
I don't think you're listening.
No, I said no, and you kept babbling. You don't listen long enough to learn. And we got here Mr. Biddle. So if he's going to be sarcastic, he's lost me.
Oh, mind your umbrella.
That's all right.
You're a bit shy of the camera today.
I always am.
Really?
I don't need him. Listen, God's grace is sufficient for us. You did it to yourself, my friend. Not me. Without
So
God's
should we have a
grace,
separate meeting
all
now?
we have is our own ideas of right and wrong.
Let's engage. Come.
We end up
So we don't need him.
No, exactly.
things that Steve was talking
So if
about.
you look in the camera.
What do you mean? I have a spirit. Do you know you have a spirit? Most people do. It's a
His
spirit
timing was perfect.
born in sin.
You run like a talk show or
That's
something.
simple.
No.
So hold on. So
I don't,
Steve, if you
but
look into
I
the
probably
camera.
should.
No.
Steve, if you look in the camera. So Steve, so how you been, sir?
Not too bad, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm surprised you and I are here so late today.
Well, it's probably something to do with the inclement weather.
So tell me, Steve, how's your party been doing over the last few days?
Very, very well.
Yeah, so tell me more, because I believe they had success in recent elections.
Yes, so we've won a handful of ward council seats and parish council seats as well, I think. And probably the biggest thing was we hit 100,000 members. So we're now over that, which I suspect is more than the Conservatives have got. I'm not sure whether they've published what their current membership numbers are, but I think it's believed to be less than that. So we're on an exciting trajectory.
I believe, what was it, last Saturday or week before, you went off to a training event. Do you wanna mention
When
more?
was this? What was this?
What was this?
Oh,
last?
no, well, no, it wasn't a well, I suppose it was kind of a training event. So
So tell us more about that.
There was a session that was run for a number of branch chairs, held in a very nice London hotel. It was an all-dayer. Zia Youssef, our chair, attended and gave a very interesting session. And yeah, the party is going places. So we're developing a system, a computer system, because I think Zia's background is tech companies. So,
Hey, look in the camera and look at the lens at the people.
Sorry. So we're getting a new system for the party, which will hold all the membership data. It will sell merchandise, basically everything. It will be sort of the banking transactions for donations and party spend, etc. That will have devolved access to all the accounts. So a really exciting IT system that is going to be really, really whizzy and really exciting. And I think what's particularly interesting at the moment, and has come out over the last day or two, Elon Musk seems to have a huge interest in reform. Well, he seems to have a huge interest in British politics at the moment, but particularly in reform. So,
Doesn't he have a great interest in reform because of Tommy Robinson?
Nothing to do. Well, how would that? There's no links there.
There
is no links there to join the dots together.
I was under the impression that your leader Farage had
it would be the. I mean, if there are any dots to join together, it would be the Trump. It would be the Farage, Trump, Musk dots to join together. However, I will just put a word of caution. The laws around political donations in Britain are very, very clear, and you have to be British to give a donation. So there's talk about Elon Musk is going to give Reform £1 million. I don't see how that is possible, because that's, foreign entities cannot donate to political parties.
All right then. But moving rapidly forward, Steve, I was expecting on Friday to see you outside of Parliament when a very important debate was taking place in regards to the assisted dying.
Yeah.
Where was you?
I was at home.
What, dying after a rough night?
Yeah. But I think actually both sides were protesting, weren't they? It wasn't just the anti-side. But on that, you want to talk about that subject. There was a free vote. Reform, there was a free vote. Some of the Reform MPs voted for it. Some of the Reform MPs voted against it. I'm in basic principles, I am for assisted dying. However, I am concerned that can you trust this government to get the legislation right, and it's get that the first stage of the process was rushed. There's only 5 hours in Parliament for it to be discussed. So, and I was surprised that it did get through and got through with the margin that it got.
But now, why are you in favour of the assisted dying bill? Why are you in favour?
For various reasons. One very personal reason to me is that my father passed away a couple of years ago of Parkinson's. I saw what his life was like. For more than a year, 2 years actually, he was bedbound in a rest home, ended up, couldn't go to the toilet, couldn't feed himself. That is no way for people's lives to end. We do not put our pets through that pain and agony. If we don't put our pets through that pain and agony, what the hell are we doing putting our own family, our own kith and kin through that pain? It is complete lack of dignity. We need dignity in death. And I know, and a lot of the arguments that I hear against it, I think, are nonsense. Many of them seem to be based around...
For example?
Many of them seem to be based around slippery slope. Well, the law might be this in the first instance, but it will change. Well, if we applied the slippery slope principle, we wouldn't have any legislation, because you could say about any piece of legislation, well, that's okay, but it might change down the line to something worse. It's just not. It's not an argument at all. And another thing, people always cite Canada, where things have got progressively what could be described as worse, but they don't cite the other examples around the world where it's been working perfectly okay. Netherlands, Switzerland. They're never cited. It's always Canada, Canada, Canada. And it is right to say, you know, I don't trust Keir Starmer, I don't trust his current
Big up
government.
Keir Starmer.
But in basic principles, assisted dying is right. Having seen, you know, a very, very close family member die in such awful situations, we have to allow it somehow. And again, even this bill, it's only talking about people that are terminally ill and people that are assessed to have only 6 months left of life by 2 independent doctors. So all this about mental health and children and pressure, it's all utter nonsense.
But do you believe, Steve, that someone has been determined as being terminally ill and they got 6 months to live?
Yeah.
Do you think this legal process will kick in before that 6 months has elapsed? Because if you have a look, at the backlog in the criminal and the courts in general, do you think something like this will be going before?
Oh yeah, I mean there are concerns that, you know, whether it's our house NHS or whether it's a judiciary system, things are in a mess currently, in an absolute mess. So yeah, lots would need to be sorted in you know, in the current situation of process and stuff and systems and what have you. So yes, but I still think that is not enough reason in itself to enforce people lying in such excruciating, agonising pain in their final moments. This is only for people's final moments.
So if you stay there, then I'm going to bring, hopefully, an NHS doctor into this debate. If you hold the camera, chat to the people online.
Okay.
Have a chat. Let me see.
Well, that's something, isn't it? Yeah, no, exactly. There's a lot of nonsense spoken against it. And a lot of the antis are religious nuts, like him on the ladder there. And that always worries me, when there's a cause that seems to be predominantly driven, supported by, I will say, religious nuts. People of say again? Well, so the bill that has passed, that's just the first stage. It's now got to go through a whole process of consultation, etc.
So if you go in there with a young lady, Steve,
where am I going?
Let's just stay there.
I'll stay here. Hello, young lady.
Hello, old man.
Thanks. That wasn't a good start, was it?
So this is Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
And I'm going to let Steve do that with a microphone.
All right. Okay.
So hold on, let me do this one. So Steve, we're currently talking about the assisted dying bill which went through Parliament last Friday. And Steve is in support in general
in basic principles,
with the principle, but I believe you are a doctor, yes?
I am a doctor. I've been a doctor for 20 years.
Yeah.
What kind of doctor?
I'm a consultant neurologist. I'm a specialist.
So, as a doctor, you signed the Hippocratic Oath. Does that not, the assisted dying bill, not contradict with what you have?
I believe it does, actually. I'm quite taken aback and I'm quite shocked that assisted dying bill went through. So first of all, the Hippocratic Oath is that our first duty is not to do any harm to patients, before we do anything else. And I take that oath quite seriously as a medic. I hope many of my colleagues do, maybe not all do. But I'm telling you now that this bill is dangerous. I think that we have seen in other countries, for example, in Canada, this bill will move from, there's already things in place, for example, in terms of assisting people who are in pain, in terms of basically the pain pathway.
Do they work?
Yeah, of course they work. So,
really? In all cases? In majority of cases?
So the point is, we don't need death pods in the UK. If people, going...
Why not?
I'm going to answer the question. So, death is part of life. There's life, and at the end of life, people die. It's part of the process. I think trying to bring something unnatural and trying to end your life, I think is there's something quite sinister about that. And I think that there are circumstances when people are in pain, and we can do our best to alleviate that pain, but we need to do it in a humane way. I think offering an option that will start off as we will use it only in these particular situations. And what will happen is, well, people go through different phases. You know, for example, in Canada and other countries, they are using it for people who suffer from depression. There are conditions that are treatable, and sometimes people go through life, they have bad instances, and they, you know, young people, you know, that's a process that one goes through. There are treatments available. They don't need a death pod.
People in this argument that we've had over
people
that are having these arguments over recent months who are against it, such as yourself, always cite Canada. I don't hear any other countries cited, yet there are numerous other countries around the world, and no one cites those. Maybe that's because it's working perfectly well in those other countries, and there hasn't been this awful slippery slope.
Actually, what you have seen is that the numbers, for example, I think it was in the Netherlands that I saw, the numbers have been gradually increasing over time in terms of number of people using it. So, you know, again, you don't know, and I don't know, but I guarantee you that people will feel under pressure. So if there's an elderly...
How can you guarantee that?
Because that's what happens. People
no, that's your view.
No,
it's not based on any data.
Well, it's the same thing, actually, in terms of when they allowed abortion. You know, people said abortion...
You're against abortion as well?
So I'm now telling you that abortion is legal in this country, but the numbers increased. When it was made legal, the numbers increased. What I am saying is that, you know, people, you know, maybe go through a situation, but there are people who are vulnerable in this country, who may feel desperate, and the solution is not a death pod that Philip nicely whatever wants to basically bring into this country. I'm saying that, you know, there are more humane ways, that there may be an elderly person who doesn't have heating in their home. Well, the solution is not a death pod.
Oh, come on. You are now suggesting the solution to someone suffering cold in a cold home is assisted suicide. That's a ridiculous connection to make.
I'm telling you.
How can you connect assisted death with people not being able to afford to pay their fuel bills? That's a ridiculous connection.
I'm telling you that people are going to be under pressure to say that, well, my life is no longer worth living. And
that's never what it will be based on.
I
can't afford my fuel bills, therefore I'm a burden, therefore please can I die?
How do you guarantee that?
By writing it in the legislation. So this legislation is dictating already that you have to have a terminal illness, and 2 doctors have to independently assess that you've only got less than 6 months left to live. That's not, I'm cold, I can't afford my fuel bill, is it? Really, with all respect.
Well, define basically 6 months to live.
It's not, I'm cold and I can't afford my fuel bill.
Well, people, when they're cold, they could, for example, go into hospital with a pneumonia. They may have less than 6 months to live.
Well, that's the ammonia. That's not the I'm cold, I can't afford to pay my fuel bill. You're being over emotional to make the point, aren't you? Because, you know, a lot of people are concerned about fuel bills and sitting in the cold.
I'm actually saying the opposite. I'm actually being unemotional, and I have seen how these things work. That actually legislation starts off one way and then basically is extended. And I think it's a dangerous slope. Doctors are not there to basically help. Doctors are not there to help patients die.
But this whole slippery slope argument, if you applied that to every proposed bit of legislation, we would never have legislation. We can say, well, you're saying we're going to do X, but it's going to result in Y. Why does that theory apply to this piece of legislation but not others?
Because it's very obvious where this is going to go.
Why is it obvious that this piece of legislation and no other legislation will have slippery slope?
Because I'll tell you why. Because actually, when you consider, for example, the instance of abortion, it was abortion in particular circumstances. It then got moved, and it's the same way...
Through change of law. Through the parliamentary process. You can't change abortion laws without it going through Parliament in our country, can you?
Hang on a second.
That's how you change law, abortion law.
No, actually, what you do is you change people's acceptance of something. So I think this is something that's so important that I don't want to basically even go down that road, and I'll tell you why. So, for example, let me just...
Can I just come in there and disagree with something Steve has said, and I give you the evidence to support it? Yeah. When laws come in, let's agree, it's Parliament who legislates. But the real lawgivers are not Parliament, it's the judges who interpret the law. Judges change laws by their interpretation.
Well, they don't change the law, they change the interpretation of the law. And if we're talking about abortion, then a judge is never going to change, or is it 20 weeks or is it 30 weeks?
I'm sorry. So actually, I was actually answering that point. You know, and I'm going to go back to the abortion point of view. So you start off in particular circumstances and you say, we'll allow it in this circumstance, and then the meaning of quality of life changes as to what is termed. So, for example, then depression becomes a reason to basically...
It's not a terminable illness.
No, but it affects quality of life.
But it's not a terminable illness, and that's what this legislation is clearly
I'm telling
written.
you that they're allowing acceptance of what doctors are there to do.
So you're saying the law will change down the line to include mental depression,
I think
for example?
it will basically change to quality of life. And
how's it going to change the quality of life?
It will basically be, they will use the idea that once it becomes accepted that doctors can help people die and you can have death pods, it will change...
Why do you keep saying the words death pods?
Because actually that's what's being planned. And
well, if it happens, whether you agree with it or not, surely the methodology that is used should be the most dignified, the quickest, the least painful. So therefore, if a death pod, which I assume use gas, that sounds pretty quick. What method would you prefer? I know you wouldn't prefer any, but if it did happen, what method would you choose?
I wouldn't choose any.
So let's not keep saying death pods then, just to be emotional.
No, hang on a second. So the reason I use the word death pods is because there's a gentleman who's doing this in Canada called Philip.
Canada again. It's always Canada.
Well, because the guy who runs the company called Philip...
Maybe that's a bad example where it's happened, but there's much better examples around the world.
But it's better to look at those bad examples.
Well, because we think we're going to be the worst and not the best.
No, because actually you can actually see where legislation goes, and it's a dangerous, slippery slope.
Where it went in one instance, in one nation.
Well, in the Netherlands, the number of cases have gone up in terms of people who have used assisted dying. So... why do we
maybe
need...
that's better. Maybe there are more people. Maybe there's less people suffering because of that statistic.
In which circumstance do you think people are suffering that?
When they have a terminal.
Give me an example.
Okay, my father, who died 2 years ago in a rest home with Parkinson's.
Okay.
Awful end of his life. We don't allow our pets to die in that manner.
Because
I didn't want my father to die in that manner. So I very much wish that legislation had been in place to help my father. Like we would have helped the family dog if it had been in that situation.
Sorry, your father is not a dog.
What I'm saying is we treat pets better by relieving them of these awful final moments of painful life.
Well, how do you know your father was... How do you know that was a choice?
He told me. He told me, and it was self-evident.
That he wanted you to kill him, or you wanted to die?
Well, in fact, he made it known before he was even ill that he supported the concept of euthanasia, and actually the situation he ended up with.
There's many people that I see who have severe Parkinson's.
Why can you not accept my personal experience and my father's personal experience of the end of his death being awful?
Now who's being emotional? You are being emotional.
No, I'm not being emotional at all.
You're being very emotional.
You're saying the end of my father's life was awful.
You're saying that means his Parkinson's should be better controlled if he was getting, He was on
so much medication. The side effects of the medication sometimes were equal or worse than the effects of the Parkinson's. We don't have treatment. You seem to think we have treatments for all these different diseases to relieve the pain and the suffering. We simply do not.
Well, we can, because people are...
But we don't.
Well, we do. We have painkillers on them. We have painkillers.
So my father should have taken some Panadol for his Parkinson's. I'm sorry, that wouldn't work.
Well, they are...
It's not about painkillers. You're a doctor, you must know, and a neurologist, you must know something about Parkinson's.
I know a lot about Parkinson's, and I'm telling you now that you can still use analgesics to tackle pain. And you can, if there's agitation, if there's other symptoms of hallucinations...
And what's the treatment for the agitation, and what's the side effects of that treatment?
It's
not great quality of life, is it?
But
the treatments for agitation in Parkinson's.
You're using an emotion.
You're a zombie, basically.
No, you're using it. But who are you to decide that basically that person is a zombie and doesn't have a right to life? And how do you know that your father's experience...
Do you think it's because it's very clear where you're coming from. You think there's an absolute right to life that outweighs everything, even awful suffering. You think, and I might come on to this, but I'm guessing maybe from a religious perspective, that the right to life is the absolute paramount thing in all of this discussion, however painful that life.
I'm saying I don't have a right to play God, and I don't have a right to take life. So you are religious? I don't have a right to take life.
So you are coming from a religious perspective?
No, I'm coming from a humanitarian perspective.
Well, you talk about you talk about God's right to take life.
I said we don't have a right to play God.
To play God?
So, no, that's fine. So I'm a Muslim.
What about people that don't even believe in God? Can they take their loved ones' lives if they're suffering?
So, every individual has a choice about how they want to end their life. I don't.
And my father made the decision when he was before he was even diagnosed with Parkinson's.
He could take a step if he wanted to. But what I'm saying is...
But we mustn't do anything, we mustn't put the tablets on the table for him to pick up and take.
What I'm saying is that...
Because that's assisted suicide.
What I'm saying is, as a doctor, I should not be basically helping people, trying to justify. My role is not to get people to kill, allow them to...
So your role is to extend their suffering?
No, it's not to extend
Well, that's what you're saying.
No, it's not.
You're extending their suffering by denying them an end.
No, it's to help them. Okay?
Help them what? Continue in their life of suffering for 6 months.
But that's their life. That's not my job.
You're continuing that pain.
It's not my
your
job.
actions.
It's not my job to determine. And you don't know.
But your actions are continuing that pain.
So, no, but they're not.
They are.
No,
They
they're
are.
not.
If your actions are extending someone's life, when they're...
Parkinsonian medications don't necessarily extend life. So,
you're preventing their death in agony and in pain, which is actually extending their agony. You are extending their agony by not allowing them to die with grace and dignity.
There are ways to treat those aspects and manage
very
their care.
Unsuccessfully, very incomplete.
I disagree with you. I have never come across...
Well, so you're saying my father must have been lacking some medication because he was suffering to such an extent?
Maybe he needed a more supportive son. I don't know. But what I'm saying to you is...
No, it's not rare.
Can I finish a sentence?
It's not rare that people suffer, is it?
I've treated many Parkinsonian patients, and I've never met a Parkinsonian patient who said they wanted to die or they wanted to be killed. So they have loving families, and many of them don't want to die. So I'm not going to basically... And a doctor's role is not to get involved...
To relieve suffering or end suffering.
To kill people.
To end suffering.
I think that relationship between the doctor and the patient changes irrevocably.
Your whole argument is life or death, and that life is the absolute importance.
My whole argument is that I have taken the Hippocratic Oath, and that's not to do harm, and it's to alleviate suffering.
How is ending someone's insufferable suffering and agony and pain, how is that harm? How is that harm?
My job is not to kill people. I don't know why
you're changing the way. You just said your job is not to harm people, and I'm saying how is ending insufferable suffering and pain and agony? How is that harm? I'm quite interested on this point. Why do you view that as harm?
No, I'm saying
ending suffering.
No. I'm quite capable of ending suffering, but I'm not going to kill someone.
Or assist them to kill themselves.
I'm not going to kill someone.
Or assist someone else to kill themselves. So if an individual wants to end their own suffering, there's no scenario where you're going to help them. You're not going to put the tablets on the table.
I'm not going to assist someone to kill themselves. It's not
any situation.
It's not what my job is. It's not what my role is.
You'd rather their suffering continue.
No. I treated them as humanely as possible.
As a consultant doctor, you know that treatments are
I have seen patients, and I manage their symptoms to the best of my abilities, and I never had an issue. So I think these people who, if you're giving me one example, n equals 1 does not translate into every other Parkinsonian patient in a care home. It's not for us. It's not. This is something that's going to be taken off. Well, that person's quality of life is not good enough. Perhaps because this is what has happened. And let me give you an example.
Canada?
No. Let me give you an example, and I'll use a different example. So I'll use, for example, CPR orders, and this will probably make me very unpopular. But, so for example, do not resuscitate orders that are used in hospitals cause a lot of upset to families, because there's meant to be always a safeguard for DNR. Now that means, for example, that the person in front of you, when you resuscitate someone, it's a very traumatic process. You break ribs and so forth. So you have to, So you have to make a decision. It's a consultation between yourself, the patient, and include the family members. That's how it should be. Now, why is it that basically that process has been led to very, very unhappy family members and families because actually the correct process hasn't been done?
Do you think it has its time? Do you think it has its appropriate moments to be used?
Well, the point is...
Or do you think you're against that?
So that's a completely different issue.
So you are, in some situations, okay with do not resuscitate?
Well, the issue is that when someone has a cardiac arrest, okay, their heart has stopped. they've stopped breathing, then we intervene, okay, to change that. So what I'm saying, in certain circumstances, it's correct not to intervene. Right? When that person...
That's so different to what I'm saying.
That's very different. What you're saying is take an active step to take someone's life. I'm saying that person died and I'm not doing anything to make them live by causing them trauma. It's completely different.
There is a difference, but I'm not sure it's as I think it's as
And
stark as you. Because your lack of
happened-
intervention is allowing that
No,
person
no,
to die.
no.
Your overt lack of
But
intervention
you make
is allowing that person to die there.
But the point, but that's why your accusation to me saying I'm there and I'm going to try and make people live. I'm saying they have naturally, their life has ended, and I am not going to intervene to try and play God.
But you could say giving them any medication is an intervention then. So would you stop
you know-
giving
you
them?
know-
Would you stop giving them life-saving medication? Because that's an intervention that naturally, without, they would die. And you could say that about a diabetic in their 40s, couldn't you?
Well, the diabetic in their 40s, for example, could legitimately, with patient autonomy, say, I don't want that medication. Okay, they could turn around and say, I don't want your Parkinsonian medication, I don't want your antibiotics, and I accept that because because in the Hippocratic Oath, amongst all these qualities that you have, you say, I believe in patient autonomy. What the patient wants, okay, I will not basically do something to cause harm to that patient, and I will respect their decision. But that decision does not mean I have to commit an act to help kill them. That's the difference you're asking. I can help them. I can help their suffering. I can help, with their symptoms. I can help with their disease. But what I won't do is I won't basically commit an act to kill them.
So if
There's a
you,
fundamental difference.
so if you worked in psychiatry and mental health, would you be against the concept of sectioning people? Because that's enforcing treatment on people, isn't it?
There's a fundamental difference, isn't there? Right? The fundamental difference is that when someone is psychotic, for example, they don't have competence. There's a difference. And so you can only section people for a specific defined period of time. You cannot section.
Can be pretty indefinite, can it not? That people are sectioned indefinitely.
But as long as you haven't treated their psychosis, once you treat their psychosis, you have to keep reviewing those orders. And there is a problem. So without giving, there was an instance, and this is again something that should be investigated. I came across a patient, and it was in psychiatry hands, not mine. Before you ask, where somebody has had a label that's a misdiagnosis for 20 odd years. So people make mistakes. And they have a duty of care. So I very much believe you have a duty of care to patients, and you should do things according to the book, and you should do right by your patient. So in terms of the point that I'm making, that you cannot, in terms of sectioning, you can only section someone as long as they are incompetent to make a decision. As soon as they regain competence, that's
it's more a danger to themselves and to others.
But when they regain,
necessarily about competence.
But if you treat their psychosis, and you can remove that section order, you have to keep reviewing it. It's not indefinite from that point of view. So it's different. It's about competence and it's about autonomy. Then the autonomy then comes back into play. I cannot, if someone says to me, I don't want your antibiotics, I don't want your treatment, I can't force that on them as long as they're competent.
There's a lot
It's a respect for life.
going back to more physical health scenarios, though, when people are in their final months of terminal illness, they frequently lose the mental capacity, don't they? Obviously around dementia and Alzheimer's, but also other diseases, including Parkinson's.
But in some instances, yes. But then there's an end of life care pathway. So if you, for example, you can judge, for example, if someone's in pain because they'll be agitated, the blood pressure might be up, the pulse rate might be up, and you will try and alleviate that pain, whether it's through. So there is an end of life kind of pathway, if you like, in terms of
Well, I view this bill as an alternative end of life pathway, a less painful end of life pathway.
I don't believe it is. I think it changes the nature of that relationship between a doctor and a patient, and I think it would be a very dangerous step.
I mean, you talk about your moral perspective on this, and I assume there will not be a doctor in the land that is forced to do this. Again, it will be a choice for a doctor to do it, as much as it will be a choice for the patient to have chosen for it to happen.
I think I'd be concerned about doctors who would be willing to get involved. I'd be very concerned.
Well, There will be, and
Right?
there are, and there are doctors that support this bill, and there are obviously doctors doing it in the other
Steve,
states that are
one thing I
doing
will
it.
say to you is I'm quite happy to lay a very heavy bet. I'm not a betting one, but a very heavy bet that this legislation will be changed. And it will be changed, believe me, once you accept that a doctor can kill a patient or help kill a patient.
You mean changed for the worse, is what you're predicting?
I know it will happen because what will happen is it will move from, well, actually it's, you've got 6 months to live. It'll be, well, my quality of life is bad. I should have the choice to kill myself. That person, for example, if they are very depressed, could go through phases where they want to change their mind. There are lots of circumstances where people feel very bad. They're at a very bad point in their life. But then they manage their condition, or they learn to cope with their condition. I see lots of patients with fibromyalgia, life is very bad, or chronic migraine, they're suffering. So that doesn't mean that they have they don't have any quality of life, or their life is not worth living. But they might go through a period where they feel their life is not worth living. And by giving them an option, rather than treating the underlying problem, we're going to be giving them options to kill themselves.
Generally, the months of a terminal illness is one directional, usually, isn't it? Okay, there are cases where people may recover or live longer, but generally
you can get things wrong, and I think that the people, the disabled community, for example, are very concerned about this too.
But again, that is scaremongering. I'm sorry, that is absolute scaremongering. There is no threat to the disabled whatsoever from this.
Right?
What is the threat? How will that happen? Talk me through how that might happen, the threat to disabled.
Because actually you've used the argument yourself. You've said the quality of life. Once you start using that argument...
Interminable illness.
No.
In vegetative state.
That's
what we're talking about. A vegetative state.
Your dad was not in a vegetative state, but anyway...
Well, he was pretty close to it.
Says you, but you're using n equals 1.
How was he not?
Right? So the point I'm making is that you're adding that in terminal states, but the quality of life argument the quality of life argument will start being used in other circumstances.
It's just another slippery slope, isn't it?
Well, those slippery slopes happen all the time, and they've happened in other pieces of legislation. So
well, most legislation that is passed doesn't then slippery slope to diabolical results.
Really? So hang on a second. Let's talk another one of my favourite topics away from health. Let's talk about the terrorism legislation. How many?
Health. But anyway, you're about to tell us.
And I was about to tell you that this is away from the health issue, but you talk about the terrorism legislation. So it was used to protect us from these dangerous terrorists. So how is it that basically you get journalists locked up on the grounds of terrorism? That was also your slippery slope argument. And yet you're finding journalists, you're finding activists locked up for terrorism.
I mean, I would agree not on that last name, but I would agree the point you said a minute ago that I think that's the judiciary incorrectly interpreting the piece of law.
So now you admit that actually, the legislation can be incorrectly. No. Legislation is written so it can be, it can be skewed in particular ways. And,
I don't agree with that point.
Same.
It's poor legislation. Well, often it will be because of poor legislation that can be misinterpreted.
Steve, can I just come in there? Yeah. Yet again, Steve, I'm disagreeing with you. Like I said to you, I've studied law, and the first thing I learned when I did my law degree is that the true lawgivers are the people who interpret, not the people who agreed it in Parliament.
But the people who agree it in Parliament then give the scope, the breadth of the scope for the interpretation, don't they?
And you've just yourself
and then you have common law, which changes it.
Yes, okay.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Anyway, all I can say, Steve, have you enjoyed, because I'm now going to speak to this young lady who's a doctor, but Steve, have you enjoyed the opportunity to debate? Because I believe Bob is also going to be having a debate about...
And I'm sure he'll be completely agreeing with you, being another hardcore theist who doesn't like playing God.
But what I am going to do now is have a discussion with this young lady. So good evening. So for all of you who are watching, my name is Wendell Daniel, and welcome to StreetMic. And I did arrive at Speaker's Corner at my normal time at 12:10. However, I was thinking, should I go home or not, because it was raining. And this young lady stopped me, and she said she wanted to have a discussion with me online. And as a direct result, this beautiful young lady, who is currently a doctor, I've decided to stay at Speaker's Corner, and we're going to discuss. And she's going to disclose some information that's very important. But before we get there, I would like to say that last week, as you know, Speaker's Corner technically didn't occur because of Storm Bert. And Storm Bert forced this park to be closed. So that's why I wasn't here last week. And it was good to be at home eating my rice and peas on time. But we are back. We are here today. After I've spoken with a lady, we may get some religious chat. But I will be speaking about Tommy Robinson. I'm going to give you an update on Tommy Robinson. I'm also going to be speaking about the signing of the pledge, which took place at a hotel in Windsor last Saturday. I couldn't tell you last Sunday about it because of Storm Bert. So, my dear, let's chat with you. So, for the people watching, what's your name?
So my name's Dr. Rahana Ali. I'm a consultant neurologist. And I don't know whether you made a Freudian slip.
Guana?
Rahana.
My apologies.
That's all right.
My apologies. So, please tell me in regards to what you wanted to discuss on StreetMic live stream today, because the great thing about what I do, it's unedited.
Good.
So you can say whatever you want. It's unedited, and it's currently going out live.
Okay, good. And I'm glad it's live because I'm happy for it to be unedited. So what I'm going to say is that I don't know whether you made a Freudian slip when you said you're currently a doctor. That's true. Actually, very soon I could not be a doctor or a practicing doctor. So I have been very active on my X account. Rahana 1980, that's REHIANA 1980, go find me. I'm happy, I am very publicly posting as Dr. Rahana Ali, there's nothing to hide, I'm not ashamed of what I post. And over the last, ever since my account's been active, it became active when my brother was assassinated, and I was using that account to raise awareness. But in the last year, over the last 400 days or so, there's been massacres occurring in Palestine on a daily basis. And I have tweeted about those, and I've given my thoughts on the mass slaughter that's happening in Palestine. And I started the October the 7th always ends up in the calendar. So we'll come back to that. So I have been very vocal about my support for the Palestinian people and for their rights to their land. And everything I have said is perfectly legal. And in fact, I stood on the in Bradford South as a parliamentary candidate. And I was very clear about my manifesto. I believe, for example, in freedom of speech. I said that we should, actually in the Bill of Rights, I mean, there is, in the Magna Carta, we have rights actually to freedom of speech, but they're not exercised in this country. We have law after law banning free speech, calling it hate speech. But my speech has been perfectly legal. And so despite standing on an election platform and saying things like I want to ban usury, which I think is a form of financial enslavement, and I also said that we should ban Israel lobbies because Britain is for British people, and it's the British people who have a right to determine what happens in their country. It should not be usurped by foreign lobby groups. And for that, I had a number of Israel lobbies on my back. So initially I had UK Lawyers for Israel. I don't know what they're doing in the UK. I then had Ganasha Jew, which is a particularly vitriolic group of 4 individuals. One of them is a guy called Simon Meyerson. He's a part-time judge and a KC, King's Counsel. And they reported me to the General Medical Council. The GMC dismissed.
Big up StreetMic.
The GMC dismissed those, and then the GMC dismissed those, and then I had the UK Jewish Medical Association attack me, and again over my election leaflet. All of those were dismissed. Then, in the last 2.5 weeks, I found myself the focus of Jewish News, Jewish Chronicle, and the Telegraph, who basically reported me to the GMC, gone to Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary, in addition and gone to NHS England and saying that I should be sacked as a doctor. So I've been working as a doctor for 20 years. I've never had a complaint from a patient because I'm a professional and I actually treat all my patients with respect. irrespective of what their background, their race, their faith. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I uphold the Hippocratic Oath. But these lobby groups have attacked me to say I should be sacked. So even though in the UK we have a shortage of neurologists, and there are patients who've been waiting for over a year to be seen, to see a neurologist, I should be taken off the register because apparently I have criticised Israel. Of course, they try and dress it up as Jewish hatred. The point is, all their tweets are about me criticising Israel. Now, I have every right to criticise Israel. I can criticise Britain, I can criticise America, I can criticise Russia, but as soon as I criticise Israel, these people come out of the woodwork and say, someone should be sacked. And I'm really saying to people two things. Number one, it's time to push back against these lobby groups. It's very un-British, it's very undemocratic. And secondly, where are these, I'm a free speech absolutist, but where are these people who say they believe in free speech? Like, you can criticize Islam, but as soon as you talk about Israel, they're nowhere to be seen. So that's really where I'm coming from. I think people need to write to the GMC and express their concern, because I should not be investigated for standing up and saying actually murder of innocent civilians is wrong.
So let's clarify. You have been suspended, or?
So I haven't been suspended. What's happened is that when I was taken to the GMC before, they dismissed them without any investigation. So now, because of the pressure from Jewish News, Jewish Chronicle and Telegraph, and the CST, the Community Security Trust, which is particularly vicious, and because they've taken it all the way to West Streeting, what's happened is that the GMC, on the same tweets that they've dismissed before, is trying to investigate me. But at the same time they're trying to investigate me, they've taken it to a tribunal to see whether they need to put an order against me whilst they're investigating. But there's one trust, and I want people to...
Can I just ask you, what will an order do? What is this order, and how does it affect you in regards to practicing or being able to...
So this is an interim order tribunal that they wanted me to attend. So it can do a number of things. I don't know what the outcome of it will be. One is that they could take no action. The second thing that they could do is they could suspend me while they're investigating. So they basically will take a neurologist out of work for, I think they can do it for up to 18 months. Or they can, I think they can erase me from the register. So, so the point is that while they're investigating me, they can issue an order to restrict probably my freedom of speech. But you're asking me about whether I have been suspended. So even though I haven't been suspended from the register, there is a trust, and I'm going to name them. It's the Sunderland and South Tyneside Trust in the northeast of England. I did clinics there. Patients were waiting a long time to be seen by a neurologist, and these individuals, Israel lobbyists as I call them, they found my NHS email, found out the trust I worked in, where I did clinics, went to the trust directly. I wasn't even informed, to be honest. The first I knew about it was that I couldn't access my email, like I had results to do for patients, and I couldn't access the email, and I didn't understand. So I contacted the IT department of the trust, and the IT department were very puzzled. They said, your account's been deactivated. And I said, well, how do I deal with the results for patients? I can't communicate with the trust because you can't send patient data on personal emails. So they said, well, look into it. And the next thing I know, apparently that decision came from the trust. The medical director is a gal called Shahid Wahid, and the other guy was called Lee Whitfield. And someone's made a decision, and I've asked them to explain which social media policy I breached, and they won't share it. They won't share what social media policy I breached. But there's actually a more serious issue, which I've taken up with Amanda Pritchard of NHS England. I've written to her. I've asked her to explain on what basis the trust have done this, who abused the NHS England process to go to a trust without informing the doctor and breached process. But more importantly than that, someone at this trust, and I won't name them, someone at this trust has breached data protection rules, has breached patient confidentiality on 2 occasions, because they couldn't contact me, so they sent stuff on my personal email.
And do you have that evidence? I'm assuming
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
So if that is correct, have you made a complaint to the data protection registrar?
That's the next step, because I asked the trust to explain it first, on what basis they have allowed this breach to occur. And the trust won't answer. So I've now emailed the CEO of Sunderland Trust, who's Ken Bremner, and I've asked him that the response from the medical director is not acceptable. And he needs to give me the answers to my questions.
And also you said that you've requested a copy of the policy to be able to identify which section was breached.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that policy has not been provided, and can you not obtain the policy from someone else?
Well, I can, but it's the responsibility, firstly, of the trust to provide it. In fact, they've breached process, so they shouldn't have even taken an action before they asked for a comment. I mean, the usual process is that if someone has done something in a trust, you call them to provide an explanation. That's process.
I note the point you're making, but I'm being quite clear. At the moment, I'm acting as devil's advocate.
No, that's fine.
For the people who are watching, many would be aware, I was employed as a manager on London Underground for 40 years. I took early retirement last year, and during that period, I was, as a manager, I had the power to carry out investigations into possible disciplinary offences. And on occasions, if the matter was so severe, then I have the legal right to suspend that person without them knowing the reason why. But eventually, they will know, because I have a duty of care, yes, if a complaint's been made. For example, that I've done something wrong. If customers were involved, if staff were involved, it could be so severe, action has to be taken there and then. So you'll be suspended. It doesn't mean you're guilty of anything. It gives time to be able to investigate and gather the evidence. It's also taking you out of the working environment to protect you and also to protect your employer and your customers.
So let me answer that directly.
Go on.
So when I obviously was saying that I have requested it, yeah, that's true. But I do know what will be in a social media policy, because obviously I've worked as a doctor for 20 years and I follow the good medical practice guide of the GMC. Now I can rest assured I've not breached any policy, right? Because
but isn't that down, just like we were speaking with Steve earlier on, isn't that down to someone else to interpret, to look at the facts, but then they must give you an opportunity to answer the charge.
So that's precisely the point that I'm making. They should give me the opportunity.
They have to investigate first to establish if something wrong has been done.
So the Sunderland
I've been devil's advocate.
No, you can be. So Sunderland is not investigating. Sunderland has made a decision which they're not prepared to explain how they came to that decision. That's the point. That's the issue. They are basically so if you have a social media policy, I should be able to say, well, actually, you breached this section, and this is the social media post that breached this section. So I'm saying to Sunderland, go ahead and tell me which post breached your social media policy. And because they can't answer it, they're stonewalling and saying that's the end of the matter. They're not giving me a right to reply. They're not giving me any input. They've simply said that people in Sunderland will now wait a little bit longer to see a neurologist, because actually we're cancelling all your clinics.
But isn't it true also, that how long were you working for that trust, and what type of contract did you have?
So my contract was through another party, but I was there through August. Now,
so you was there were you there for more than 2 years?
No, I wasn't.
So you was only there for what, 3-4 months?
Yes, but I was doing.
So can any employer not get rid of a person under 2 years without basically giving them a reasonable excuse why they're doing it? Yes or no?
Well, I'm in the process of getting legal advice, but I don't think that anyone should be unfairly dismissed. So I have been.
But you only have your rights after 2 years. If it's If it's something that falls within the Equality Act, discrimination, that's a different kettle of fish.
Well, I think that they have discriminated against my views. So they have put a pro-Israeli interest before my interest. You know, I am a British UK citizen and I'm entitled to my free speech. You know, this is what it comes down to. Lobby groups should not be able to influence anything in the UK. I mean, that's what I believe. I don't believe that just about Israel. I believe about that any group. You know, if you talk about Russians or you talk about the Chinese, you know, everyone would agree.
But can you not, yet again, I'm re-emphasising I'm being devil's advocate. Yeah, and I did warn you. Yeah. But can you not see from the trust point of view that they do not want clinicians, doctors expressing such views because it runs in conflict, but potentially the people you will be taken care of? Because I believe recently a gentleman appeared on Talk TV with Piers Morgan, who is a GP. He went through the same thing.
And actually, so they suspended him and reinstated him. So the GMC reinstated him because he did nothing wrong. So let me just.
But have you? I'm going to let you. But have you obtained the papers from that case to see if there's similarities? And the legal term is distinguish. So you can distinguish between what happened with him and you can nick their ideas.
So this is all work in progress. This has all happened in the last 2 or 3 days. I'm literally doing 16, 17-hour days at the moment, or longer, or more. But I want to come back to your point. So because this is an important point that you raised, and I think that we've got to be careful to be accurate. So the trust can be concerned if there was a genuine breach. Now, there's nothing in my record to say that basically what I discussed on X and what I discuss here, for example, quite regularly, is that I would be discriminatory against any patients. And in fact, I have no complaints in my 20-year career. Nothing has changed over the last year. And I want to point out a discrepancy. So the Trust decided that I breached social media policy and that I couldn't work for them. Now hang on, but the GMC has said so far, while they're investigating, there are no patient concerns. So your point about patients, for example, who could be uncomfortable, or, you know, I could put them at risk, the GMC specifically saying at this point, I'm not a risk to patients. They are investigating me. They referred me to the tribunal for public interest. My argument is that the Israeli interest is not a public interest.
But to go back to the point, I know what you're saying, but the key word is investigation. At this moment in time, the Trust, I don't agree with what they've done, but I can understand what they've done. It's a knee-jerk reaction because they're scared, they're shitting themselves, excuse my language, and because you haven't been there for more than 2 years, they can basically say, go away. But for them to withdraw your contract, that potentially inhibits your ability to work in the future. Therefore, the GMC has to look at the facts and they have to then decide, have you done anything wrong? Therefore, an investigation is ongoing.
So, you know, StreetMic, you're sitting a little bit on the fence. So first of all,
I have to be on the fence.
I know, no, that's fine. What I'm saying is that, you know, the Trust, yes, they maybe had a knee-jerk reaction because this is the Israel lobby that we're talking about. You know, once the Community Security Trust comes after you, most people run away. And I make it very clear to the CST, I'm not running away. Every tweet I did, in fact, I've retweeted many of them because what I wrote was very legal and it was correct. And I'm entitled to say what I want, and I've said it perfectly legally and correctly. I owe no responsibility to Israel whatsoever. I'm British, I treat British patients. Now, you pointed out, for example, that, you know, the Trust took this decision. What I'm saying is that the Trust actually didn't act in the patient interest, And I'm standing here saying the patients didn't want me not working there. The trust made a decision to deny patients care for an Israel lobby. I mean, this is actually quite concerning, not just for me, but basically any British person.
What evidence do you have to support your belief that the reason the decision was made is to support an Israel lobby? What evidence do you have to support that?
So the evidence is actually what's happening with the GMC. So the whole dossier of the GMC, this is an important point. The GMC has had these tweets before and they dismissed them. So the same tweets, but because now the CST has become involved, they've taken the same articles from Jewish News. I mean, go read them. I mean, I'm supposedly a Jewish News, Jewish Chronicle, The Telegraph, and that's part of the dossier on me. I mean, for goodness sake, how can I be pro-terror when I oppose the entity called Israel that propagates terrorism? I mean, their Prime Minister Netanyahu and Gallant have got arrest warrants out against them by the International Criminal Court. So how can I be pro-terror when I oppose them? I mean, is this a farce? And then they call me anti-Semitic. And my argument is this: how can I be anti-Semitic when the Palestinians are Semitic people? So, if anything, I cannot be anti-Semitic. So, the whole thing and all their tweets, they used, this is what concerns me. They used, I saw this morning that I had a quick look through some of the documents. They used a doctor who clearly is part of the CST. They supplied 35 pages from the American Jewish Committee of words that are anti-Semitic. Words that are anti-Semitic include dual loyalty. Right? This is now anti-Semitic. I believe in free speech. I think you should be able to say pretty much anything you want as long as it's legal and you're not threatening violence. And one of the tweets, and I'm going to share it with your viewers, I shared a video from David Irwin. David Irwin has said some bad things about Muslims and about non-white people in the past. I think he has every right to say what he wants, right? I don't have to agree with him. But he had a video, and it's on my X account, where he made an interesting point, and I said, strange, ... I then became a Holocaust denier. Now, my point on the Holocaust is this. I can deny, you can deny anything you want. You can deny the Holodomor, where 18 to 30 million Russian Christians were killed. You can deny 12 million Germans were killed at the end of the Second World War. You can deny the Rwandan genocide. You can deny the fact that my ancestors are, I'm Kashmiri in origin. You can deny that 100,000 Kashmiris were killed in Indian-occupied Kashmir. In fact, you can deny that 70 million British people, 70 million people were killed in the Second World War. You can dispute those figures. And nobody does anything to you. But if you deny the 6 million, then apparently it becomes a crime in 19 countries. Now, I don't see why that becomes a crime. I don't see why me even saying this is problematic. There should be a level playing field for everyone. So, and I don't think anyone should have special privileges. I don't believe in Muslim privilege, Christian privilege, or Jewish privilege. I'm not a supremacist, and I oppose supremacy. And I think that makes me a better doctor. So actually, coming back to that point, I would dispute, I've picked up more followers on my X account since people saw that I was actually quite right in what I was saying. So if they've done the opposite, people have come to me and said, actually, thank you for sharing that, or actually, I agree with you. So the public is not going to be impressed by the GMC or this Sunderland Trust saying that because I oppose a genocide, because I oppose the mass slaughter, I become a bad doctor. In fact, it's the opposite. You should be glad I oppose death. You should be glad I oppose the mass slaughter of innocents, because it makes me a safer doctor, because I have standards, and I apply those standards equally in all situations.
Can I say thank you very much for giving StreetMic this opportunity to engage with you.
Thank you.
I've no doubt that what has been said will be looked at by the Trust, by the GMC, and lots of people will eventually look on it. But all I can say is thank you very much.
Can I say one other thing?
Yeah, but one question I will ask. You've mentioned on numerous occasions your Twitter, your social media. So the question then becomes, how can anyone watching find you on social media?
So I tend to be more active on X. In fact, these lobby groups have a particular issue in my posts. I'm on Rehana 1980, Rehiana 80. So yeah, 1980. So what I would say to people is this: I'm asking people, and people have done this. People have been outraged that the Trust and the GMC want to investigate people who stand against the mass slaughter. That the Israel lobbies can interfere. And what I would say to people is, do you think that a doctor should be anti-mass slaughter or anti-genocide or pro-genocide? And I think that the GMC should be there to regulate us. You know, the GMC, I had a respect for the GMC, I have a respect for the GMC, but I'm losing that if you kowtow to Israel lobbies. You're not regulating me because I'm unsafe. You're regulating me because there's external pressure from West Streeting, from these Israel lobbies. And I would say to people, they're going to come after you for every other thing. I think it's time to push back against these Israel lobbies. Write to the GMC, write to Charles Massey, tell him the GMC is there to make sure doctors are safe. It's not there to regulate and say that doctors should not speak up against the mass murder of innocent civilians. And it's not just, it's not just civilians. I mean, my colleagues, my international colleagues have been killed in Palestine. I stand against that. And every doctor, every healthcare professional should be speaking up. And I would end with this. If a doctor is not speaking up about the mass slaughter of their colleagues and other innocent civilians, there's something wrong with that doctor. They are shipments in disguise.
Excellent. As normal, thank you very much. You've got my phone number. I've no doubt you will be communicating with me during the coming days. So all I can say is thank you very much. I'm now going to give people an update about Tommy Robinson, but we will catch up. Thanks a lot, yeah. So I'm now going to go in front of the camera and you're going to see my ugly black face. So I'm now going to go in front of the camera. Big up. Oh my word, don't I look beautiful? Hey, don't you like StreetMic? Hey, good evening or good afternoon to all of you watching. My name is Wendell Daniel and welcome to StreetMic. And we are coming to you live and direct from the regular Sunday Mayhem down here at Speaker's Corner. And I actually got down here today at 12:10 and it was pissing down with rain. And if you know me, I don't normally go live if it's raining. The only person I do that for is for brother Leo Mohammed. But not today. I was just about to go home. Jeremy and this young lady, the doctor, she came.
I don't want to be treated by that doctor.
Why not?
Because she's got a pro-Palestinian flag on her chest.
But can you possibly see the reasons why her employer or the trust has taken the steps that they have taken?
Do you remember the British Airways cabin crew where she had the cross on her neck?
Yeah.
She was a cabin crew. British Airways chucked her out, said to her, "Excuse me, you're not allowed to wear the cross." I mean, the only thing you can allowed to wear is a Sikh turban if you're a police officer. You can't wear anything else. I mean, to be honest with you, except the uniform. Sikhs are allowed.
So Jeremy.
Yeah. So
did you manage to come down to Speaker's Corner last Sunday when it was locked down?
Yeah, I did come down, and there was a big fight.
There's a fight?
Yes.
Who was fighting?
Uncle Omar assaulted another fellow Muslim.
Oh my God, Omar, that dirty, stinking, nasty scoundrel. What did he do?
He beat somebody with a stick so hard that you can hear the shin crack.
Are you serious?
Yes, and the ambulance was called, and the police usually did nothing.
Big up the old Bill. Big up the old Bill. So why did he, Omar, use his stick as a weapon instead of a tool to enable him to go from A
It's
to
not the
B.
first time that he does that.
No, it's not,
He
is
does
it?
that all the time. He uses that stick as a weapon. There's nothing wrong with him, right? He claims to be disabled, but he's not disabled. He always comes from North England somewhere, especially, but he's been banned for 2 weeks. So this week and next week you won't see Omar.
So I don't want to see that nasty,
I know.
stinking scoundrel again.
I know.
Because he sexually harasses.
And he calls you an Uncle Tom.
I am an Uncle Tom and a coconut as
coconut.
well. But
Same
he
time.
sexually harasses
Yes. Woman and
Shalini.
mothers. Yes.
Women.
Yes.
That could be my sister, my mum, my aunt.
He doesn't like black people either.
Nor do I.
No. But then he says the guy he assaulted was a
Only joking.
Somalian guy.
Oh my
He's
God.
calling him, your mother is a twerker. She twerks her ass. That's what he did say. You know.
That's
Really bad. And she said, your mother is like Nicki Minaj. She wears G-strings. You know?
That
I mean,
man
that's
has no respect.
There you
He
go.
has no respect. He has no respect.
Yes.
So anyway, anything that's taken your eye politically that's excited you over the last week?
Not really. Dying Bill.
The time,
Yeah.
but we've debated that.
We've done the diet.
We've done that, and Bob will be doing that. But
You know, I mean, we bought Keir Starmer. His popularity is plummeting.
yeah, but what do you
You know,
expect when he's got
from-
Lammy in the cabinet?
Yeah, I mean, Lammy. I mean, he's a waste of space.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
how
Foreign
about
Secretary-
the former transport
Can I
minister?
tell you? The former transport minister.
Dodgy
I think-
mobile.
Yes.
Dodgy
yeah,
mobile.
Yeah. She says that.
Oh, I got a mobile.
I got a mobile. She took a picture of it. It's in the Sun. If you look at the Sun, the news of the world today, you see.
Hold
you
it.
see all about it. You read all about it in the Sun. So don't look at the Sun. Read the Sun.
All right then.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Yeah, of the fact that this dodgy minister had to resign?
I'll be honest with you. He was a former public prosecutor, so he used to prosecute the likes of Jimmy Savile, who we never did.
You liked
and,
Jimmy, didn't you?
And the others. And to be honest, she told him, look, I've got this conviction for handling stolen goods off a mobile phone. And then he said, that's okay. It's all going to be forgotten about. Just join my cabinet. You can be transport secretary.
Hold on. But didn't she say there was only one mobile when apparently there was two?
Yeah.
So
And-
that was misleading.
And she did Friends of Windle a favour.
Big up.
Yes, the train drivers and all the unions, she gave them.
She gave them a lot of money.
So
money.
Windle's pension has been inflated. Thanks to her.
Big up,
Mrs.
big up.
And she's got pink hair as well.
And that is why I can
Pink
come
hair.
down here and give you such nice
I know, because
photographs
of it. And that's
today.
why he's going for the inauguration in first class.
Big
20th
up.
of September. He's been put up in a
Big up.
January, yes. He'll be put up in a top-class hotel in
You
Washington.
jealous? You jealous?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am. I think there's
Hey,
the best thing-
Shagamoto wants to come with me.
Yeah. Well, she'll probably throw in a free party for you.
Anyway, go away. Let me chat to my people. So, good evening to all of you watching. My name is Wendell Daniel, and welcome to StreetMic. So, I've got some announcements to make, and some of you will know that I'm a supporter of Tommy Robinson. So, I love Tommy Robinson. Oh, Tommy Robinson. So, Tommy Robinson, he's a great British patriot. He stands up for the people in this country, and Tommy Robinson wants to see the best for this country. He doesn't want to see the culture being eroded. He doesn't want to see illegal, and I said the word illegal, immigrants coming and taking over and using all of our resources. And Tommy Robinson is currently languishing in prison. But the update I'm giving you is that Tommy Robinson isn't having a whale of a time. That's not the word to use, but he is surviving. He is getting exercises on a daily basis. He's got the chance to go into a gym for about 3 hours a day to have exercise that will stimulate his body. So when Tommy Robinson comes out of prison in 6 months' time, he's gonna be like StreetMic, big muscles, bulging. He's gonna be a big, and no one's gonna mess with Tommy, you know. Oh, Tommy. But a lot of the people I know are going to see Tommy on a weekly basis, and they are reporting back. But initially, when Tommy went into Belmarsh, you know, that was a shock to his system, and eventually he was moved to this prison in Milton Keynes somewhere, and, you know, that was designed to mess him up mentally. But he's now got his routines in place, and many people are going to see Tommy weekly. And also what's happening, you know, people are sending him emails, and the emails are not getting through. And the communication in general is very bad. You can't be sending him money. So what Tommy wants you to do is that if you want to send money into him, don't do that. Send it to Urban Scoop. And if you want to know more about Urban Scoop, click on the link below. Click on the link below. Because now I'm going to tell you about Urban's. Excuse me, my favourite Muslim. Come. This brother here is my favourite Muslim. So how's my favourite Muslim?
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
What's going on here?
Yeah,
you just came late. You came late, you come early.
No, I came here at 12:10.
All right.
But because it was raining, I didn't go live until late.
So what's good? Any good conversation? Any good things?
I've had great conversation.
Okay.
We've had a talk about the assisted dying bill.
Okay.
You know, I'm now talking about Tommy Robinson, a great British patriot. What's wrong with Tommy Robinson? I know you love him.
I don't know.
You don't get involved with them debates with Wendell.
Never met him.
But Tommy Robinson he loves his country, and he's fighting for the best for his country.
I know.
But what he does not like, is young children being groomed and raped by a small percentage of Pakistani men. That's the problem he's got.
I never heard of that kind of thing, you know. Because I'm from Pakistan.
No, I know. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah. I never heard this kind of thing. But people who are living in this country, and their grandfather came here, and they are not Pakistani anymore. They are not practice Pakistani. They don't practice Islam, so they could do that kind of thing.
No, they can't do that kind of thing, because when you come to this great country, you abide by the rules of this great country.
Of course.
You abide by the culture of this great country.
Culture.
And there's no monocultures you assimilate.
Man on the top of a man.
No.
You don't want to hear that. You know, my goodness, what the hell going on in this country?
I know.
You know, they're destroying their people themselves, you know. What I tell you, now they have this artificial intelligence. My goodness, nobody going to college, nobody going to...
What is wrong with artificial intelligence?
Everybody going to ask a question and the answer is there.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You've got AI, StreetMic.
Yeah.
How do you know that's really me?
Yeah, I don't know. This is what's going on.
Yeah, I'm unique, man. They can never clone StreetMic.
No. Actually, it's... We are not progressing. We are going downward. I tell you. That's the main problem here. Which I'm coming here for the last nearly 2 years, and what I learn, what I understand, we are not progressing. We are bloody going down and down and down. Yeah, backward.
Yeah. I hear you, sir. But all I can say, thank you very much. I'm going to give these guys an update about Tommy. Then I'm going to go over there with Bob and the assisting dying.
Okay, see you there later on.
Excellent stuff. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so like I was saying, Tommy Robinson is currently in prison, and I'm going to give you an update about Urban Scoop. We're leading on to that. So if you want to send communication to Tommy, it's not getting through. It's been blocked. Yeah. People are trying to send him money. Don't do that. He said don't do that. If you want to send money, send it to Urban Scoop. Go in the link below and you'll find out. But specifically with Urban Scoop is the place where journalists like me, citizens journalists, we're free from the corrupt journalists all around the world who are pushing a particular agenda. Urban Scoop has great journalists becoming involved. StreetMic is one of them. We've got many other great people. We've got Sammy Woodhouse. How many of you know Sammy Woodhouse? Sammy Woodhouse is a victim of the grooming gangs, but she's putting her experiences to great work, and she's working with Urban Scoop. And during the coming months, you're going to see StreetMic collaborating directly with Urban Scoop, hence the reason I'm testing new equipment today. So I'm testing new equipment today. It's not new, it's my movie camera. And with my movie camera, you know, can you see the background, how blurred out it is? You don't want to be distracted by the background, so I've blurred it out. But I will be using this camera at Speaker's Corner from January for Urban Scoop. So from January, those of you who know, Urban Scoop is the company, the film organisation that releases a lot of the films with Tommy Robinson. So from January, StreetMic will be collaborating directly with Urban Scoop, and you will be getting StreetMic and Urban Scoop coming to you live and direct from Speaker's Corner. So you will be now seeing all of this all over Tommy Robinson's New Era Twitter. You will also be seeing all of this on Urban Scoop, and that is a YouTube channel. So what I want you guys to do, go on the link below and you will see more about Urban Scoop. What I want you to do, get ready for the coming of StreetMic and Urban Scoop. So StreetMic will be collaborating with Urban Scoop, and we will be doing that from early January, and then you're going to get lots of scoops, exclusives, directly involving getting more information about what is going on with Tommy Robinson. And I had the chance last Saturday to be invited to an event in Windsor that was entitled Signing Off the Pledge. So, yet again, go in the description box below and find out more about signing off the pledge. And what was really great for me was to be at the hotel with so many great people who were really inspiring and motivating about saving this country. They want to do the best for this country. They want to protect the culture of this country, and they want to make sure that certain foreign cultures are not. Excuse me, sir. Sir, come here. Come, I'm live. Hulk Hogan, come. Oh, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan has just walked by. So they want to make sure certain foreign cultures, and you're saying, oh man, who's this geezer talking about foreign cultures? He's a coconut. What's he talking about? We're talking about illegal immigrants coming to this country and mashing it up for the true patriots like me and you guys who go to work if we can, and we pay our taxes. We assimilated. We're not into monocultures and all that stuff. You know, we do what we can to make this country great. That's what I do. And I believe we live in a great country. And that is what Tommy Robinson is fighting for. It is no longer an issue about black and white. In 2024, it's about class. We're in the same fight together, black and white. We are uniting. Slowly we are uniting. It is no longer like it was back in the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s. You know, I grew up in Enfield, where there was a Ku Klux Klan, where there was National Front, British movement. If you know where I live, Bullsmore Lane, I keep telling people that in 1981 I was working at Bullsmore Sports Centre, coming home one night, and I turned round, and about 20 skinheads were running after me, man. Get the nigger, get the nigger, just get the nigger. In them days I was fast, you couldn't touch me. But we have moved away from them days, and people in this great country are assimilating, they're working together, they're fighting for the same common objectives. And that is what I like about here, man. That is why I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with Tommy Robinson. Call me a coconut, I don't care. Call Danny Roscoe a coconut, I don't care. That is why Danny and myself are going to be unleashing a podcast very soon called The Two Coconuts. And why are two black men going to be doing a podcast called The Two Coconuts? I'll tell you why. Because we're going to be fighting for this country. We're going to be arguing that certain things are not right. Can you imagine things a white man can't talk about on a podcast that two black guys can talk about? We are going to be pushing back the boundaries, man. So you're going to tune in to The Two Coconuts, Danny Roscoe and StreetMic from 2025. You're going to get these two black brothers talking politics. We're going to be talking some controversial and sensitive issues that any white man can't talk. But we as black brothers will be talking about the issues, and that's The Two Coconuts. The Two Coconuts. So tune in to The Two Coconuts. Big up. So how are you, sir? Come and say hello. So, what are you doing there? Filming StreetMic.
Well, I like you, StreetMic, for a bit of content, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So when I was talking about The Two Coconuts, why was you laughing?
Well, you're right in a sense. I mean, look.
What do you mean in a sense?
Well, just listen to
Yeah,
what
go
I
on,
want to say. Is when, what was that, what was her name? Foreign Secretary, Conservatives, Indian one. And she said there was an invasion from the boats, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, could you imagine Boris Johnson saying that?
Yeah, he
It would
can't.
have been, you racist.
He can't, but she can.
Yeah, she can because of the colour of her skin.
Yeah,
So,
that's correct.
Yeah.
And can I be honest, there is an invasion.
look,
Yeah, and you know something, yeah? This may seem strange. I come to this country in 73. The middle of blackness and we hate you blacks and all of that. But it's not until now, in 2024, I'm now beginning to believe, I don't believe people were hating us as black people. They were hating us because when we come here, just like it's happening now with the Eastern Europeans, they're coming over, they're taking jobs, they're taking resources, they're taking... People hated that. And I'm seeing it now, only because it is an invasion by... Am I right or wrong?
Well, look, when I was a youngster, we used to go...
Not long ago.
Well, not that long ago. We used to go raving and that. Like,
You used to rave?
The night, yeah, of course I did.
Oh, my God.
I was involved with that scene big time.
Acid!
Look, in the 90s, I would say the Metropolitan Police dug my mates out more than we got dug out, the black guys.
Yeah.
But that's
The
changed.
brothers, man. The brothers,
that's
man.
changed now.
Yeah, man.
It's almost reversed now to appease a certain sections. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, oh, we can't arrest the Muslims because they'll all go crazy. Do you know what I mean? And it was like I said.
Is that because Khan's in power?
Could well be. It could well be, and a mixture of lots of other things. But I mean, it's like, you know, you saw some of these riots where they had their machetes out and they go on the loud. Please put your machetes away, for fuck's sake, man. Can you imagine that happening reversed?
Yeah.
It didn't. And look, the Leeds riots, the police ran away.
Yeah.
They ran away.
But you know something, yeah? I love the police because I personally believe we have the best police service in this country. And I'm sorry, in the world. And I do believe that because they're weak. What I want to see are policemen and women. Can I be honest? I get on with the police, man. All of these guys and girls.
To be honest with you, I have no problem with
I get on with the police. You know, I want to see better quality of persons coming into the police force. Yeah, black people, white people. I want to see everyone coming in, joining.
Didn't the black people call the police Babylon?
Yeah. But we got to change that foolishness.
That's what I'm saying,
Listen, I know black officers, very senior. Even 3 days ago, I was with a commander. Don't call me an informer.
He's old Bill, man.
Don't call me no informer. But I know the old Bill.
Yeah.
And I can cuss the old Bill when I need to. Yeah. For example, Martin Blake. Fair enough, he went through the process at the Old Bailey and he was found not guilty of shooting Chris Cubber.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I got issues with that. But the jury found him not guilty. I was there to listen to the evidence.
What are your issues with that? Because he was a bit of a known criminal, yes? Correct?
He was known to you, but he wasn't known to the jury. So what's that got to do with anything? Are you trying to say because Chris Cubber was a known criminal, shooting him was justified? Is that what you're saying?
Hang on. Have you seen the footage? Obviously, you saw the footage.
I saw it. I was in court.
Okay. So what should the police have done then? What
No, but what
I don't know about shooting him dead, but when you've got split second to react, you know, you're talking a guy. They knew what he was. The jury didn't, but the police knew what he was up to. The car was involved. What was it? A robbery or a murder or something?
The car was involved in a shooting the day before. That was the car. That does not mean Chris Cubber was involved with that. No, that means using your logic. That means because there was intelligence involved in that car, you were biased. So be careful in law what you're going down. Yeah. So that means no. I'm talking law. It's a thing called actus and mens res. Yeah, mens res is the mental bit. What was in your mind prior to pulling that trigger? If something was in your mind that was wrong and you pulled the trigger, then it wasn't justified. If you were told certain things about a person, you follow me? If you're told certain things about a person prior,
the picture's painted. You're painting
so regardless what that person is doing, he's a bad un. I'm going to shoot him. But I'm just going to make it clear. I'm not saying, I just got to come out the sun slightly, because purely because now come round here. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, is that just because, Chris Cubber was a bad un, just because he was shot and killed, I'm not saying Martin Blake, is guilty. I'm not saying that. The jury found him not guilty very quickly, and they had the opportunity to listen to the evidence.
So you're claiming they didn't listen properly?
No, maybe they didn't hear all of the evidence. Because don't forget, in general, things are discussed when a jury isn't there. Yes, because it will influence them.
Yeah, what you mean when they tell the jury to go back to... Right, yeah, and they...
And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to elaborate any further due to a thing called a contempt of court order.
Right,
no
you
more.
lost me there.
I'm meant to lose you. Only those in the know will know what I'm talking about. But there are times when you cannot discuss certain things publicly, because if you do, it's contempt of court. Once it's contempt of court, don't forget, Tommy Robinson is currently in prison for what?
Contempt of court.
Big up. You know, studying the law.
The last time he was in prison was the same thing.
Yeah, you know, one thing, you know, and I argue, I was lucky as a manager for a great company, London Underground. I was there for 40 years. Yeah, I was there, yeah. And I was a trade union rep. And I would argue one of the reasons I wasn't sacked years ago, because I knew the law and I knew how to argue. And you knew. And when you learn certain things, it's survival, mate. Big up.
Yeah, I get that, but the unions have... I'm not so sure about them unions nowadays, mate, the way they're going on.
No, I hear you, but what I'm going to do now, I'm going to...
union rep?
I was a trade union rep. I was part of the TSSA.
Lefty, are we?
No, big up.
Been exposed as a lefty. Right, listen,
in my olden days.
Great talking to you.
Excellent stuff. Thanks a lot. So just like we were saying, going back specifically in regards to Urban Scoop. So I will be doing stuff for Urban Scoop in January. So all of these live streams will be for Urban Scoop, and it will be, and that's when I'm at Speaker's Corner. We will be collaborating, and you're going to get some great footage, because I'm testing the technology I'm using now, and in a few moments I'm going to pick up the camera and I'm going to use it wirelessly. Steve, I'm now going to test my camera to see if the wireless technology is worth. No, Steve, come here. It's only no. No. There's something. This isn't my normal. This is a special camera. Be careful. Be careful with my camera. Hold that. Hold that. No. Hold it there. No. Hold it like I'm doing it. You cannot move anything because it'll switch the camera off. It's meant to be. Don't touch enough. No. Trust, Steve. Trust me. Don't touch anything. I'm trusting you. Yeah. So. Hold on. Let that there.
Let that dangle.
So let that dangle. So for those of you who are watching, so follow me now, Steve. Yeah, hold on. Give me that. Put your hand in there.
In where?
In there. Put your hand in. That's a hand grip. No, inside of it.
Where's my other hand?
Yeah.
The image is upside down.
So I'm now got Steve the Atheist. But don't touch anything there. So just follow me slightly. So as you can see now, Steve is now following me, and he's doing it with his hands. Yeah. So the important bit is, I've now gone wireless. So I'm now walking away from my. So show my tripod. So I'm now walking away from my tripod. So no, slow. Do it slow. No, Steve, do it slow. Do it slow with people, so they can just imagine you're making a film. So that's my tripod, which I will normally be using. But now I'm walking away from this. And if you come here, Steve, if you come here. See, I've got all the wireless technology in here. So show in there. Go in there, show people. So this is the technology that enables me to live stream. So that is the technology in this bag that enables me to live stream. But now, see, Steve is going to... So I'm now walking around the way, and next to us I'm just giving people a slight feel. So, we've got officers down here. We've got a gentleman We've got a gentleman standing on the... No, follow me. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Yeah, but do it slow. So I'm now walking away from my base station, and technically I can walk 200 yards away from the base station using all of this technology, and that is the great thing about what we are doing now. And so I'm now going to walk around slightly. This live stream might cut out. Now slow down, do it slow, Steve, do it slow, do it slow. You've got to be slow. So Steve is now following me slowly. And big up. So we're miles away. So this is the young lady to whom we spoke to earlier on. She's having a discussion. So he's just doing things wirelessly. So I'm just showing him how to use the camera. So now we're walking around. I'm just making sure that the technology is working and Steve doesn't drop my camera. Slow down, slow down. So this is what's really great. We've even got the best filmmaker here, and big up, he's my new cameraman. So we're now walking around. So I'm now away from the base station, and this still should be working, because it should work about 200 yards away from my stand. So over here we've got Bob, who's currently having a debate with the regular rabble-rousers down here. And we've got all of the others. We've even got Banksy. And here's Banksy. And this is my new cameraman and we're testing out we're using wireless technology. My base station is over there by the flag. So no rubbish with StreetMic, only the best.
Political cameraman.
Only the best.
You realise this gentleman stood for Parliament.
Yeah,
now you're using him as your cameraman.
Yeah, that shows the power I have. See, that shows the power. So StreetMic, and I'm just demonstrating the power of what we've got. We will, from January, StreetMic with Urban Scoop, and he knows Urban Scoop, I will be bringing you news with this camera for Urban Scoop. And Urban Scoop, you will be getting scoops with Tommy Robinson as well. You're going to be getting all of this stuff. But look at how great it is. No rubbish. Like the rubbish you get with mobile phones. Big up. See, and here also we've got, whoops, I nearly pulled it out. And here also we've got this man here. He's the second best in the... So this is Soko. So I don't want people to subscribe. So we're just testing out the wireless technology. My base station is over there.
Revelations 22:13. Make sure you subscribe to Revelations 22:13.
So Revelation 22:13. He hates me.
No, I love you, man. I love you.
So make sure you subscribe to these geezers. We all work together. We all love each other. We're now going back to my base station. And I do hope this hasn't cut out. So if I walk too far away from my base station, it will cut out. So I'm not watching my mobile phone. Are you getting tired, Steve? Yeah, but you got to do some muscles, mate. So let's go back. Hold on. Let me see if everything is still working. I hope it is. Hold on, let me see if it's still working. Yeah, look, everything is still working, Steve. Look, see, everything is still working. So let's carry on, let's do a bit more. Hey, let me put it back, so hold that. So I'm now going to put it back on my base station. So this is the base station I'm going to be using. Oh. So I can do it easy now. Thank you. So I'm now going to walk around slightly, and then I'm going to come back. So this is...
Jesus Christ!
the infinitely holy Son of God. Only He has made satisfaction to the justice of a holy God. The infinite justice. God is infinitely holy. God is infinitely pure. God is infinitely righteous. And only one who is infinite. That is Jesus Christ, the infinite Word of God.
So also down here we've got the Messiah. So the Messiah, the Messiah. Come and talk to StreetMic. So the Messiah. So how are you keeping, sir?
I'm busy.
You're busy?
Yeah, persuading all the major powers not to start a war. Stop the violence and give a peace a chance.
So tell me something, the Messiah. Yeah. What advice would you give to Netanyahu to stop the war?
Netanyahu, he don't have a power. It is the establishment which has power. American establishment is the biggest in the world. Everybody are under America, including Russia. And I myself had saved thousands of lives. I stopped the war in Northern Ireland. I stopped the war between India and Pakistan in 2002, when both sides had a 2 million man army on the border, armed with nuclear weapons.
Excellent stuff, but keep up the good work.
And you spread my picture.
Big up. So this is the power of what we're going to be doing now. So let's go and see what Bobby's doing. So if you make way for StreetMic, see the waves part when StreetMic arrives.
Out of their slavery to their addiction. But the point of the 12-step program is we don't expect you to...
So there's all... Big up. So, and there's Shagamoto, my girlfriend. So how are you, baby? So what's this with the... What are you wearing today?
I'm just wearing, just casual wear.
But what's with the goggles?
Oh, it's just because it keeps you warm.
It keeps you warm. What are you wearing underneath?
Nothing special.
Oh, can I have a look?
No, I'm good.
Big up.
Under heaven, given among men, whereby we must be saved. Only the name of Jesus Christ saves. Only the name of Jesus.
Big up. So what I've now done, I've now put my camera back onto the tripod. So the camera's now back on the tripod. And what I was demonstrating to you is the power we now have. So so this is what we're going to be doing for Urban Scoop. So for Urban Scoop, we're going to be using some wicked wireless technology, and you guys will be able to get some great footage. So let's walk around. Bob's currently having a debate, and so don't forget, in the background we've got Winter Wonderland. Up overhead, we've got India 99, we've got the helicopters, we've got all kind of rascal business are going down here today. And they're all here to support StreetMic. So let's go and catch up with some religious debate. Don't forget, if this is the first time you've seen StreetMic, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
By the Father and the Son, in that unity that they have one with another, that we might be one in God the Father and God the Son.
Yeah. That's all right, that's all right.
Gonna get in closer?
I'm just... Is he finishing up soon?
I'm not. With Bob, you never know.
Can I squeeze around the side there? Can I squeeze around the side there? Thanks, Lawyer. No.
And that's why you introduced the Jubilee and the idea of the cancellation of debt. And the fact that indentured slaves should be set free. So he is conditioning the Jews to understand a world without slavery. But he's working within a world in which they find that hard to imagine.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, he could able to say, stop. Like it has. This is if you break this commandment, it is like.
And Israel wouldn't have been able to function as a nation. It wouldn't have been able to function at all. The whole of Israeli society would have collapsed because there would have been no economy.
Yeah, but the thing is,
no, there would have been no economy. The whole of the civilization would have collapsed there and then.
Yes, but the thing is, like I can say, you have a slave. Now you don't have enough money. You can trade that slave. Right, but you're telling me, Bob, you don't have enough money, you can give your daughter as a slave, which she is a free girl. Now you're making a slave. You're not you're not trading a slave to a slave. Like,
I mean, you've not actually read the passage, but so I'm guessing that you're talking about indentured slavery. But the point is, and we're getting to the point now, Rommel, where we're just repeating ourselves, because the point is, the economy of Israel depended upon the economy of the time. The only way that people understood economy at that time was the use of slaves. The only way that they understood the idea of paying off debts when they didn't have access to fiat currency, when they didn't have access to credit, all of things that were created from a Christian worldview that hacked out another path because of Jesus, the one I'm actually asking you to follow, right? Because I'm not asking you to start following Mosaic law, I'm asking you to follow Jesus. But that whole system didn't exist at Moses' time. But the point of Moses is that it points towards Jesus. And so you've got to understand the Old Testament and the New Testament as a whole, in the sense that one is leading us to the other, and it's the end point that God is concerned about. It's where we end up that God is concerned about, right? You're worrying about the process, the journey. And what you're saying is that the journey was horrible. But the point is, some journeys are horrible to get to good places.
Yeah, but my point is not the journey.
Well, it is.
I guess my point is the person.
Yes, I've already... So again, if a doctor, for instance, has to cut away... To say you've got cancer, and to save your life from that cancer, he has to disfigure you and scar you for life and maim you to save your life. Has that doctor done a good thing or a bad thing? Right. But the results have some bad effects, right? Right. So God is working in the real world, not some fantastical, fictional world. And so because he's working in the real world and not some fantastical, fictional world, God is operating in a way that because of Jesus, we are now able to say, well, that wasn't great, was it? But you wouldn't be able to say that if it wasn't for Jesus. It's Jesus that taught us that that was a bad thing to do. or rather that isn't the best way to live. Not that it was a bad thing to do. So, and so the point is, that's the person. He's the surgeon who's leading people to Jesus, which is the cure. Rommel, it was lovely. Have you got a Bible, Rommel?
I have read the book.
Have you got one?
No.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Have you got one back in Sri Lanka?
Even in Qatar, I have it.
Right. Okay. I'd like to give you a gift then.
So I have to ask you a
go on.
different question. It's about you.
I'm not interested in answering questions about me, but go on. You can ask.
No. It's about when you say things in the here, yeah.
Yeah.
When you try to say, let's say, about Jesus Christ, whatever he says, and something comes from the Old Testament, whenever you try to say Jesus said, and you stop and you say God said.
Yeah. So what's your point?
Why you do that?
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
Okay, like let's say what Jesus. Okay, let's talk about Jesus says.
Are you talking about when I identify Jesus as God in the Old Testament?
Yeah.
Because in the Old Testament, the one who speaks to Israel is Jesus. It is Jesus in the Old Testament.
Even in the morning, like when you start saying, you say some quote from the Old Testament, you try to say Jesus and you stop yourself. And you say God.
Because he's not properly known as Jesus until the New Testament and the Incarnation. And so he would be properly identified as either the angel of the Lord, or as the word of the Lord, or as merely God in the Old Testament. It wouldn't be accurate, because the word of the Lord did not become known as Jesus until the New Testament. And so it's appropriate, it's just a custom. It's a custom to refer to Jesus, which is as Jesus from the New Testament times forwards. But when we're talking about Old Testament times, to refer him to by his Old Testament titles, which is the word of the Lord, the angel of the Lord, or just God. Yeah? All right. It's lovely to speak to you, Rommel. This is a gift for you. And I hope if you got my card, haven't you? Feel free to get in touch with me if you want to keep this conversation going over a Zoom call.
A Zoom call. I like your Zoom calls.
My brother would be more
What's a fiat currency, Bob?
Oh, how long
What is a fiat currency? Come on.
How long are you here for?
You use the term.
Right, well, get in touch with me via my website on the
Tell me
card.
what fiat currency is,
and then yeah, absolutely, and then we'll talk through Zoom.
You've used the term and you've said it's Christian.
Yeah.
What's a fiat currency, Bob?
There you go. All right.
What's the fiat?
Lovely to speak to you, Rommel. Nice talking to you as well.
The opportunity. What is a fiat currency, Bob?
JC, do you want to collect the microphones?
Well, what's a fiat currency? What is a fiat currency? It's a really simple question. Have you suddenly gone deaf, Bob?
Any final thoughts on that conversation?
What is a fiat
Final thoughts?
Yeah, I do have some final thoughts.
What's a fiat
So
currency?
hold the mic.
I don't think you know what fiat currency is. I don't think you know what fiat currency is, Katie. I don't think you know what fiat currency is. It's not a car, Bob. It's not a car, it's an expression. Come on, you get your...
So we're now going to engage with... Now look here. So we got... Let's go over there with a nice backdrop with Winter Wonderland.
I'm going that side, huh?
Yes.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very good.
You're so short, do you know that? So, let me...
Next time I'll wear big heels.
Huh?
Next time I'll wear big heels.
You're so bloody... Oh, is he live yet? Is he?
Huh?
Oh, let me move. Let's go over there, so... I don't know. So if you look here. So if you hold that.
I don't need mic. My voice is louder.
No, I don't.
I'm shouting on the speaker.
No. You're doing it properly with me.
Okay.
Hold on, no, not yet. So, Shalini, good evening. And
Good
thank
evening.
you, and look in the camera, and thank you very much
Good evening.
for giving me this opportunity to interview you. So, how you been, girl?
I've been very good. God is good.
God is good.
Yes, always, always.
So, yesterday and the day before, I sent you some videos that you've been going viral on YouTube. True or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you remember the videos I sent you?
Yeah, you sent me a few videos.
Yeah. And you were talking about immigration.
Yes.
True or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So for StreetMic live stream,
yes,
I want you. Hold on, let me get it there. So for StreetMic live stream, I want you to look into the camera.
Yes.
And I want you to tell me your views on what is going on with the boats and immigration in this country and why you do not like what is currently happening. So go on, big up.
Okay. In this country, lot of illegal people are coming through boats, and especially from Arab countries. Lot of illegal Muslims, lot of illegal people are coming in this country because they want to enjoy the freedom in this country.
Hold on, say that again, I didn't hear it.
They want to enjoy the freedom.
Hold on. Who's they? Hold on.
Those who are coming illegally by boat.
Hold on.
Those who are coming illegally by boat, they are coming through Arab countries because in their own country they have no freedom of life, no value of life, no respect of life. They are supposed to follow Sharia law and Islamic laws. And all the people are fed up in their own countries, and they're trying to escape their own country and coming by boats.
So why are they coming by boats here to England?
You know, because I think they're coming from Iran, Iraq, via Turkey, via France, and they're reaching England. And I don't know whether they are trying on their own or somebody is trying to help them. You know, the agenda of Islam is very wicked and very evil. So I'm just telling that a lot of illegal people are coming from all over the world. And this is going to be a big problem unless they wake up, the government wakes up now, and unless they put a stop to this illegal immigration happening in this country.
And you know something? I missed all of that. And the reason I missed all of that, my focus wasn't on you.
Yeah.
And I know you've been very vocal.
Yes.
About everything that's happening.
Yes.
But you, come, let's be honest, yeah? Where were you born?
Me?
Where were you
I was born in India.
So why don't you like immigration when you were born in this country, born in India?
Okay. I was born in India, and people are in this country. There was workforce required, and they came to India to recruit us, and that's why we are here today legally, not illegally. Okay? And I am a nurse, and that's why I've been required in this country. So, my dear friends, you can come legally everywhere. In every country, there are people going legally. It is not a harm. But if you see in the Muslim countries, they will never give you citizenship. In Muslim countries, they will make you work for them, but they will never give you citizenship. But this country will support your family, will give you freedom, and will give you every benefit in this country. So my dear friends, this country need to wake up. that in Islam, in Islamic countries, in Muslim countries, they don't give you work permit. They give you only work permit. Sorry. They only give you work permit. They don't give you passport in Islamic countries. So it's time to wake up and save your country before it's too late.
So tell me something, Shalini. Yeah, where were you last week? Did you come to Speaker's Corner, or did you heed the advice that StreetMic gave to you?
When I came to Speaker's Corner, it was locked, and I think because of the gusty winds.
Yeah, but I told you.
What?
That it was going to be locked.
Yeah. But I came to preach on the street then.
Oh.
I was in Oxford Circus. I was in Leicester Square preaching the word of God. It was good.
So you come to preach the word of God.
Yes.
But what I want you to tell me, yeah, and I know that they are going to be looking at this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want you to tell me why you love a patriot, Tommy Robinson, so much.
I love Tommy Robinson because he is thinking about in the best interest of the country. He is trying to stop corruption, expose the lies and the corruption in this country, and he is trying to save the people of this country. My dear friends, I want to say to the leaders and to the citizens of this country, time to wake up. Time to wake up and stand for your country, stand for your rights, and stand. Don't let Sharia law come into this country. Sharia law is not country laws. It's Islamic Sharia laws, which is not going to be any good for your future. So, my dear friends, I just want to say that this country needs to, every citizen has a responsibility in this country to wake up and to save this country and stand.
And do you think that Tommy is waking the people up and standing for the people?
Very much. He's waking the people up. A lot of people, pro-Palestine. A lot of people joined like a donkey with everybody in the pro-Palestine protest. But you don't understand the aftermath of what it is, why Islamic Sharia laws are the dangerous in the whole world.
You're a liar. Big up. So now you can say what you need to say.
Muhammad is the donkey of Allah, the shaitan, the devil. Muhammad is the black dog of Allah, the devil. Cover your head. Your hair is showing. Muhammad is getting honey. Cover your head. So, Muhammad, the muta, the sex addict, pedophile, is the donkey, the black dog of Allah, the devil in disguise.
Big up. So you now got 5 minutes to preach your talk.
Okay, I just want to say these Muslims are lost in the cult of the devil. Islam is not a religion or a faith. Islam is an organization of Satan, the devil. Islam is not a religion.
Can I come back to you for a reason?
Of the devil. Thank you very much.
No problem. Let me come back to... I've never engaged with you before, have you? If you go around, I want to interview you.
Wait, I promise I have
No,
to
just
go.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds because... No, just 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
There's no point for 30 seconds. Sorry.
No.
I'll get you when
So
I come back.
I want to talk to you about a discussion you had yesterday concerning Tommy Robinson. Because did you have a conversation? Yes, so let's have a quick conversation about.
I told you I have to come back. I want to.
But I'm leaving. Yeah.
I know, but you're arm twisting me. Go on anyway.
You know me. You see me every week.
StreetMic, good on you.
StreetMic. So tell me more about what you said about Tommy Robinson, and I have questions to ask you because I know Tommy's team is going to be looking at this.
Yes,
yeah,
good.
So you know, what do you love about Tommy Robinson?
I think Tommy's Irish. I love him. I love him as a fellow human being. I think, was he born Catholic? I'm not even sure. But look, I love him as a brother. As a Catholic, I love everybody. Now, I think what you're really saying is, what's my problem with Tommy? Am I right?
No, I've asked you specifically, why do you love Tommy so much? I'm asking you that. But then the next question will be, what problems do you have, or why do you dislike Tommy Robinson?
Right. I think Tommy is dishonest. I think he's dishonest.
But can I ask you questions?
Do you want me to elaborate a bit?
Yeah, because
I'm in a kind of a hurry.
No, I know, but I will be asking you the question. What evidence do you have to show that Tommy is dishonest?
Look, I said I have a very little amount of time, and now you're trying to dictate the whole terms of the interview.
Go on.
So let me just explain. All right, okay. So, Tommy, I agree with some of the problems Tommy has identified. Nobody likes grooming gangs, right? I think weaponized migration is a problem, no question about it. I'm an Irishman. I cannot be against immigration. My people have gone everywhere. I'm married to an Indian, and I love England. We've been here. But I think we all recognize that migration can get to a point where it's being weaponized, which it is. And so I agree with Tommy on that. But what I think is dishonest about Tommy is he will demonize Muslims till the cows come home. And talk about problems there, but he never mentions the Jews. This is the problem.
I didn't. Let's talk specifically Muslims. Is Tommy Robinson demonizing all Muslims?
Hang on.
Is he demonizing all Muslims, or is Tommy only saying because of the grooming gangs, his focus specifically are the Pakistani men, not all Pakistani men, some Pakistani men who have been found guilty and have been involved in grooming gangs and rape of young children.
I don't think he's really a journalist, but whatever.
No, that's not my question.
Let me finish the point. Please don't. Good lad. Take the lid off it for me, please. If Tommy's done good on that, fine. As I said to the people yesterday, my problem with Tommy is not what I would call sins of commission, leaving aside the cocaine and the prostitutes. That, by the way, GoFundMe is a really good expose of Tommy. That little documentary by Nick Hatun, where his allies in Canada said, Tommy, I remember the term. He said he's white knuckling his sobriety. He needed his coke and he needed to get the prostitutes. But hang on, let me finish, please. But I'm not even condemning him for that. We're all sinful. I think you should stop it, Tommy. Cocaine is not going to get you anywhere. If you're, stick to it. I think you're married. Be faithful to your wife. Promiscuity will destroy you. Don't do it. But the main problem is he's a big fan of the Jews, right? He's been to Israel. I think he posed on a Merkava tank. He's a big pal of Ezra Levant, the Rebel News, and it's notable that he never criticizes the Jews. And I've got two problems with. And by the way, when I say the Jews, I do not mean all Jews. As a Catholic, when we say the Jews, it means the Jewish leaders and those who follow their lead. It's kind of organized Jewry. Everybody knows the Jews can organize, right? Good on them. But when they do, sometimes they behave in a way that's damaging for other people. And that's when I challenge the Jews. Now, Tommy never does that. And I think that's dishonest. And I think if you're getting money that emanates essentially from Israel through groups like Ezra Levant, and you spend all of your time complaining about the government here, and you're not challenging, and you're doing that really on behalf of Israel, that's dishonest. I think that's kind of treacherous. That's my problem.
All right, then let me come in there and pick up on a few issues here.
All right.
So when you're it'll be back. So when you're talking about dishonesty, what you are actually saying is that Tommy has a bias.
Yes.
This is what you're saying towards Israel. and he's not. Is that? And you call him that dishonest because he's demonstrating
Well,
a
he
bias?
said, if I remember correctly, he said if there was a war tomorrow, he'd fight for Israel, right? Now, yeah, I think it's a bias. That's a good way to put it.
So can I ask you?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that's what Tommy said. I'm taking it on face value
the
that
lid
what
off
you
it
are
and give it
saying
to
is
me?
correct.
All right.
If
All right.
that is what his Tommy has said, what is wrong with that? Because, he is expressing a preference from what you're saying. We all got preferences.
Sure, I agree.
So what is wrong with expressing a preference?
If
and
you're,
why is that
That's
dishonest?
a good question. Good question.
I don't ask silly questions. Yeah, go on. I'll give you the chance to talk.
Look, call me old-fashioned, but I think genocide is bad.
Let's agree. I agree
Genocide is bad.
Let's agree.
Now, I think if Tommy was a genuine culture warrior, somebody who wanted the best for England and humanity, I think he'd speak up about that. And I don't think he'd be going. Now, I'm sure when he went to Israel, it was before the current genocide, but it didn't start on October the 7th. Israel has been terrorizing the Palestinian people for 100 years. And I think if you're going to go and pose like you're some kind of, I don't know, on a tank and say, I'm with Israel, I stand with Israel, I think that's, at the very least, that's really bad judgment. And I think if you put into that, Ezra Levant in the documentary, right, he's, Tommy goes to Canada.
And was arrested.
He goes on a coke binge and he goes to the whorehouses. And if Tommy really worried about grooming gangs, I don't think he'd use prostitutes, because most of the prostitutes, I don't know, but a lot of them are, hang on, let me finish this point, a lot of them are trafficked girls. If he really cared about the victims of grooming, he would not be supporting the trafficking of women indirectly through using prostitutes. Now, when he got arrested...
Can I ask you a question?
Let me finish this point. When he got arrested, who was on the phone saying, Tommy, we're going to cover Tommy's legal expenses? Ezra Levant.
You're chucking a lot of things at Tommy. Well, let's start addressing them one by one.
All right.
You've made a claim about prostitutes.
Hold that for me.
Yeah, no, you've made a claim about prostitutes. Yeah, my man's just get. Can I? Well, I'll allow you to have the coffee. Can I say it's important?
Thank
and,
you.
And you know me. You see me every
Tommy,
week.
God bless you.
Big up.
Listen,
so
come
now,
back to the Catholic Church, bro. We need you.
So
and all of your fans.
what evidence do you have to support your claim just now that Tommy has used prostitutes? What evidence do you have to support that?
I mentioned at the very beginning. It's a documentary called Goy Fund Me. Got the spelling Goy Fund Me, all one word, and the whole story is there.
So you are going by a documentary film. So that's your source of evidence.
That's my primary, definitely. And the reason I think it's very plausible, and if I find contrary evidence to the contrary, fine, I'll accept.
So
it.
you've
But
also
what I'm saying is, why do I find it plausible? Well, the people who are, in a sense, revealing Tommy's adventures, they're the people who invited him to Canada, so they're his allies.
So
I think that's quite plausible.
you've thrown out a number of occasions, and I've heard it on many occasions, that someone has used coke. Yeah. I have never taken coke myself. I don't know the effects. But if Tommy has taken coke, what's wrong with that?
Well, where can I begin? Let me begin. First of all, if you're going to be a serious... Well, it's illegal. I think that's a good place to start. If you're going to be out there leading, condemning the legal system and the police for failures, and you're a coke addict and you're using illegal drugs, I think you've blown your credibility straight away there. But more importantly, you've never had coke. Do you think it's good for you?
I can't, sir.
Right. Well, let me tell you.
Sir,
let me tell you.
If you ask me,
I'll tell you.
if you ask me if ganja is good for you, my black brothers and sisters would say yes.
Tell them to get off it.
My brothers and sisters would say yes.
Tell them to get off it.
Yeah, but you've said...
I would say coke is even more...
But you have argued that Tommy Robinson is a coke addict.
Let me explain.
Addicted to cocaine. What evidence, yet again, do you have to support that belief?
If Tommy
answer the question.
Is
What evidence do you have to support the belief?
StreetMic, don't patronise me with this.
I'm
don't
not.
do a Piers Morgan on me, all right?
I'm just
I don't
asking questions.
No, you're pretending to be friendly, but you're trying to corner me. I'm not playing
being
the game.
devil's advocate. Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I'll let you say what you
You're
need to
not
say.
Piers Morgan. I admire you. Don't turn into Piers Morgan.
Thank you
all
very
right?
much.
You will destroy your excellent reputation.
Hey, he loves me. He loves me. So go on. So I've asked the
look,
question. You can answer a
look,
different question.
Coke is bad. Coke destroys your. You can't think straight. You become very self-obsessed. If you look at poor Tommy in these interviews with Jordan Peterson, you can tell he needs to be in rehab. He's in bad shape. And if you're going to be out there leading a cause, I think it's a big betrayal of. Well, who supports Tommy? Grannies say, free Tommy. He has all these funding streams. I don't think they'd appreciate, even if he's not an addict. Do they appreciate him buying cocaine with their money?
But we'll come to what you're alleging. But go back to an interview with Jordan Peterson. Yeah, at that time when that interview took place, wasn't Tommy going through a lot of behind-the-scenes stress, and potentially could have affected his capabilities?
Are you suggesting that he needed cocaine to get
No,
through?
no. I'm saying, forget your allegation of coke here. Have you ever been stressed out because there's a lot of shit going on in your life?
Look, I'm a Catholic. We call it we live in the valley of tears, in this vale of tears. You think you can escape disgrace? It's not possible.
No. But all I'm saying, just because someone may not be at their peak, then it's down to coke. I reject that claim, and I disagree with you.
I'm just going by what to me seems kind of obvious.
So it's by your own analytical reasoning.
Have you seen the documentary?
No, I haven't.
I'd say have a look at it, and then you can question my judgment.
But it's just,
right.
I put films together, and I can put anything together to influence how someone thinks by the evidence I put into that to influence an individual. But when we began, you said that there are elements of Tommy that you like. Can you give me an example of one or two elements that you like?
Well, as I said at the beginning, I admire any bloke. I don't mean to, any man that wants to fight the good fight. And I think grooming gangs, whether they're Pakistani or from Portsmouth or whatever, that's bad. And I think anyone that stands up for that, good on them. So God bless you, Tommy. I love you. Come back to the Catholic Church I think you're Catholic. But if you're going to do it, don't mess people around. You've got to be straight. Look, it's very simple, really. If you're going to be a campaigner, you kind of got to be squeaky clean. Simple as that. If you're going to mess around and Granny's giving you some of her money and you're having coke, even once, you're taking the mickey, and I don't think you should do it. And I think there's a lot of evidence out there that that's the case.
But going back to that point specifically about people making donations to a cause and Tommy specifically using that money to buy coke, what evidence do you have to support that claim you've made?
I'm not an investigative journalist. I'm just connecting the dots. If I'm wrong...
So you have no evidence?
But even so...
So you have no evidence?
Hang on. Don't Piers me. Look.
Big up, Piers.
Big up. I had to laugh the other day. Jamie was some of our Muslim brothers were interviewing him, and he looked really traditional. He says to Jamie, "Whoa, you're really spitting balls." No, that's real. Anyway, where were we? Look, even if he's not using the money directly, do these grannies think that Tommy is using coke? Because I would be very worried if the guy who's trying to say I'm going to clean up the moral malaise our country is in, if he's using coke, Tommy, sort yourself out, get off the coke, clean your act, get back to your whatever sort yourself out. You're not going to help. You're just going to be easy to manipulate. Let me talk about one book. There's a great book. I wrote a review of it recently.
Hold on, are you going to be playing me now?
Yes.
Big up.
E. Michael Jones. He's a great. I think he's a great scholar of the age. Tommy, listen, and all of your fans. E. Michael Jones wrote a book called libido dominandi, sexual liberation and political control. If you are living a sinful life, you are easy to manipulate because you become self-centered, you're driven by your appetites, and you can't think straight. Thomas Aquinas, the greatest Catholic scholar ever, he said, lust darkens the mind. Sort yourself out. Clean up your act, because otherwise you're just being manipulated, you're being used. And I hate to see that happening to you individually, but also to your supporters. They deserve better than that. Don't mess them around.
Can I say something? Yeah, I believe, Wendell Daniel from StreetMic, yeah, that Tommy Robinson is a true patriot. I believe he's a national treasure. And I believe history will prove Tommy Robinson, everything he's done, was correct in how he fights for this country. But you've mentioned specifically about the grannies, yeah, and how they would perceive Tommy based upon the arguments you're putting forward, yeah. But have you been to any of Tommy's rallies? Yeah. Have you seen the 100,000 people? Have you seen all the? Have you seen all of the people, the grannies, the young people, the old people, the black, the whites,
yes, I have.
everyone?
I have. You're making my point for me.
Go on now.
What's my point? If you're the leader of a figurehead of this, it's a big movement, and these are very sincere people. If you're going to be, I don't think if you're using coke and you're taking money and you're propagandizing for Israel, there's a great picture of Tommy and some of his mates. It's half it is the Star of David and half is the Union Jack. Now, I'm not sure about Northern Ireland, let's not get in there, but the last time I checked, there were 4 countries in the United Kingdom. England, Scotland, Wales. I mean, anyway, whatever. But Israel's not in England. Why is Tommy dividing the Union Jack between the Star of David and Israel? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
I think in a way that makes my point. Tommy is more concerned. He really quick to criticize. By the way, why is Tommy in jail? He broke the law. He broke the law. Now they want to make him into this kind of martyr who went down because he's challenging grooming. He broke the law. He's in jail because don't break the law, Tommy. If you are the leader of a campaign, don't break the law.
So in being in prison, yes, he did break the law according to the law, but what he did, was it not right? Was it not correct in the fact that he's exposing the truth? And in doing so, I even checked last week, over 60 million people around the world on Twitter has seen what Tommy has exposed.
Now, I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Trust me, 60 million when I checked last week for Richard.
That is the power of social media. Brilliant. Here, my understanding is he was told don't show it in public, right? And he did at the rally. And I was there. I was on the stage. Now, that's what a contempt of court or violating the terms.
But why didn't they want him to show it? I know, I do accept the judge
but if you're
said
a leader,
you can't.
Well, the principle,
but sometimes leaders
have
to fight for their followers.
That's a very Protestant point of view, if I might say so, which says, now there's a real important Christian principle which says you cannot do evil that good may come of it, right? St. Paul. It's quite subtle, but if you're the leader of a movement that wants credibility, you cannot in a very explicit, barefaced way break the law and then say, I'm worried about the legal system. It's just incoherent. Tommy, you got to do better than that.
So in closing, I think you know me here at Speaker's Corner. And I like to be devil's advocate.
I know.
But in closing, I'm going to allow you to look in the camera. You can say whatever you like without interruption. Has 3 minutes. Or do you want more?
Oh, that's more than enough.
So look in the camera, I won't interrupt.
Thank you. I want to mention E. Michael Jones again. I'm Catholic. He's written, I would say, young people that have been to university. University these days is basically ideology. Tommy would agree with me on this. It's basically, these are institutions that propagandize woke ideology. If you want a proper university education without getting into debt, read the work of E. Michael Jones. He's written that one I mentioned, Libido Dominandi, Sexual Liberation, Political Control, the Jewish Revolutionary Spirit. He traces through history basically, I think it's a great way to identify the Jews. They rejected Jesus Christ, and because he's the Logos incarnate, the creator of the order of the universe, if you reject him, you become a revolutionary. And that's a tragedy. By the way, all any Jews listening, please get baptized, become a Christian. This is how you will find freedom. So that's E. Michael Jones is one. I have a little YouTube channel, Duck Street Studios. I make some kind of skit videos. Watch them. I like a bit of support. Most of them are inspired by the work I've done with reading E. Michael Jones. I think he's brilliant. And I'm a Catholic. Look, there's only one church. England, the downfall of England, Tommy, friends, you're not white. A white guy is a Christian who no longer goes to church and wants another identity. You're not white. You are guys, you should be Christian. Stop the coke, stop the porn, stop the prostitutes, stay true to your wives. You know how many children have been aborted in England? 11 million. This is why they need to bring in all these our brothers and sisters that are, the browns and the black. You've killed off 11 million of your own people. Stop all that. And then stop pretending you're white. Stop blaming. The symptom of the problem is the guys on the boats. The problem is the wars, I would call them Jewish wars, fought by the American Empire. That's why there are all these people on the move around the world. Stop that. Return to the Christian faith. There is only one true church, the Catholic Church. Last point, 2 great sacraments. Confession. Jesus Christ said to the disciples, whatever you loose on earth is loosed in heaven. That's called confession. We need to go to a priest to have our sins forgiven. You need it. You need to clear up that sin in your soul so that the grace of God can flow. And he said, unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you cannot have life in you. God said that, Jesus Christ. How do we get that? You go to Mass and the priest has been given the power to turn bread into the body of Christ. I believe Jesus. I know the priest has the power to do it. If you don't have it, you have spiritual malnutrition. Get back to the Catholic Church. There is no salvation outside it. I think that's all I want to say. StreetMic, you're brilliant. Thank you for taking the time. And I love the Jews. I recognize them as cultural enemies, but I love them. Jesus Christ said, love your enemies. I want what's best for them. That's to become a Catholic. Get baptized. God bless.
Big up. Thank you very much. As normal, I've challenged you as a devil's advocate, and we've both been respectful towards each other, and I've given you the chance to say what you need to say without interruption.
Thank you, StreetMic.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Any suggestion you were like Piers Morgan?
So I'm the Black Piers Morgan now, yeah? Brrr, brrr, big up. So good evening to all of you watching. My name is Wendell Daniel, and welcome to StreetMic. Let me just brighten it a bit. Slightly too dark.
I didn't give my name. I want my name to be there.
So you want to give your name? Give your name.
Sorry, just say, because I mentioned my channel, Duck Street Studios. I thought it just sounded kind of a bit enigmatic. When I grew up in Ireland, they used to slag us about the street I lived on. It was called Duck Street. My name is Sean Nocton. Sean Nocton.
Spell Nocton.
N-A-U-G-H-T-O-N. Okay, and I just want to know, support the channel, but everything I say, I'm not trying. You know what I mean? I want my identity to be very clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, thanks a lot, Sean.
Right, thanks, Street.
Big up. So, we've just had an engagement with Sean. I've given him the opportunity to say what he wants to say. That was after I challenged him in regards to a video that I saw in another place yesterday. So we are coming to an end of this live stream now because I have many things to do, and I should have been finishing at 4 o'clock, but I did start 30 odd minutes late because it was raining down here at the corner. And I do hope you have enjoyed StreetMic live stream today. And let me put a little bit more light on. So I don't. So that's as far as it can go. I can go and put a actual light on, but I won't bother with that because we're coming to an end. So it has been a good day down here today, and I will be doing videos, live streams at Speaker's Corner for Urban Scoop. Urban Scoop is the organisation that does all of the stuff for Tommy Robinson, and I believe that Tommy Robinson is a patriot, and he is fighting for this country, he's fighting to maintain the values that are being eroded. And as a person who wasn't born in this country, that may sound strange coming from a black brother, but you know, I've been here now for 50 years. I've assimilated in this country. This is my country, and I'm fighting to maintain what has been built. And I believe that multiculturalism is a great thing. It's enriched this country. But I think what the issue is becoming is monocultures, where some people do not want to integrate, do not want to mix, do not want to become part of the fabric of this amazing country. But we are, like I said, we are coming to an end. If you want me to continue for a little while longer, let me go and get my light, then I'll be back. So I'm not going to be here for a couple of seconds, then I'm going to be coming back. So I've just got to go and put a light on. Give me 30 seconds. He's getting... Hey.
They got the Egyptians and morons. Ask more people to talk about morons. Are you still against education, sir? No, sir.
Now you can see StreetMic in multicolour. Now I've got to get the right balance right. So I'm now back. So I've just seen the police taking a young gentleman away, and I just got to, let me just get the right balance right. So do you want me to stay? Go into the chat. Do you want me to stay or do you want me to go home? So do you want me to go home? So go into the chat and tell me now. Because if you don't want me, I'm going home to my rice and peas, my curry goat, and my chicken. Big up. So do you want me to stay? So Sean, big up. She's sick of sly news. The Sharifs. Oh my God, the Sharifs. What rubbish are you talking about, Jimmy Cock? What's his name? Jimmy Cockhill. Brian Doherty, hating baby killer. So do you want me to go home? Do you want me to finish? Or do you want me to continue? You decide. My name is Wendell Daniel from StreetMic LiveStream. And don't forget, have you liked the visuals today? I'm using a different camera and it hasn't conked out yet. It hasn't failed yet. But we've managed to engage wirelessly, by the way. So what's happened? I'm not seeing no... So what I want to know, do you want me to continue? If not, I'm going home. So do you want me to continue? StreetMic. So should I go home? Sean, stay please. White Lightning, Urban Scoops in it. It's come back on now. Big up. Get some drink. I don't drink, man. I don't drink alcohol. It's bad for you. Yeah, Paul Smith, you're out of sync. Do you know something? When you come here, I'm not out of sync, not me personally. Yeah, but for some reasons, when you live stream wirelessly here, it goes out of sync. The longer you do it, this is what I'm testing today. So for some reason, it goes out of sync. But that's nothing to do with StreetMic. Big up. The sound being off is nothing to do with me. When you go wirelessly down here, keep it coming, keep it coming. So we now got Danny Shine. Big up Danny Shine.
We are going to continue stopping ourselves from busting our nuts for another 31 days. Can you stop yourself nut busting for 31 days, sir? Will you join us for No Nut December, sir? You will get a lot of benefit from it. It'll be very good for you, and you will learn self-control. Men who cannot stop themselves busting their nuts for 31 days are weak, pathetic individuals. You should certainly not be busting your nuts.
Hello, Danny.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good, it's all working.
So to the viewers today, I don't know if you missed No Nut November, which I've been speaking about. We came to the end of No Nut November, and I'm glad to say that we had a wonderful month, me and my wife. Right, nice, clean bedroom, no mess. And we like to invite everybody who's watching to join us, every man, of course. Join us and let us go till the end of the year. Let us make December No Nut December and see if you can do something about this terrible problem we don't have. You look around here, you see all these people here. We are all here because somebody bust their nuts, right? And therefore, I would strongly recommend that you go for at least the month of December without busting your nuts. Otherwise, you could end up creating someone like this guy over here. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Someone bust his nuts, and that's what happened as a result. This is what happens when you bust your nuts. The end is nigh. Look, you're the Messiah. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. This is what happens when you bust your nuts. His parents didn't realise that he was going to end up like this, I can assure you. 9 months before he was born, his dad was not thinking, oh, I wonder where my son will be in 70 years' time. Perhaps he'll think he's the Messiah and get a... I mean, he actually went to get this sign made. Yeah. Jesus Christ, what did he do? 200 pounds.
That's inside Bob the Builder, he has no knowledge. He makes up lies as he goes along.
I can't really hear what you're saying. I'm not complaining. Don't worry. I'm not really that interested in what you're saying, to be honest.
I understand very well.
No, I don't understand.
People make up lies as they go along. I had brought peace to Northern Ireland.
Pregnancy is a terrible tragedy. And in the next 24 hours, there are going to be 3,000 tragedies in the UK alone, because 6,000 people are going to engage in unprotected sex.
Is that all?
Well, probably more than that. Some of them will not end up in pregnancy. So it's probably more like 10,000 people, right? And they're going to be 3,000 pregnancies. And unfortunately, only 1,000 of them are going to be aborted, leaving us with 2,000 more people to add to this mess that we call the UK. 2,000 people to feed, 2,000 people to clothe, 2,000 people to have doctors and be part of the NHS, right? People make a fuss about immigration, but the biggest form of immigration happens from a woman's vagina. 700,000 people immigrate into this country through the hospitals, right? Every pregnancy is a tragedy. And if you don't believe me, look around here. You can see the ongoing tragedies that were once tragic pregnancies. This guy over here, for example, look at this. An ongoing tragic pregnancy in the making. What are you doing here, sir?
Seeing you.
Yeah, but what are you doing on the planet? Why are you here?
God created me for a reason.
God create you? No, God no create you. Your father, your mother, your father bust his nuts, didn't he? Yes, your father bust his nuts. And that's why you're here. Because of all this nut busting. Right? No, not my mother. Had nothing to do with you, my friend. You are not here because of God. You're here because your father bust his nuts. That's why you're here, my friend. Yes, that's right. Your mum and dad like to have a bit of hanky-panky, and now you're here for no good reason, just like everybody else. And we've got to stop with this whole pregnancy malarkey. Many of you guys, I mean, how many people here are intending to make a woman pregnant or have already done it? Anybody made a woman pregnant? You've done it? You've not made a woman pregnant, but you intend to? Why the hell would you do that? I don't understand. Hold on a second. Why would any woman want to get pregnant in the first place, by the way, right? Madam, are you thinking of getting pregnant at all? No? Fantastic. I mean, why would any woman get pregnant? I don't understand. Maybe you can explain it to me. Why would you want to have some little parasite inside your body, right, making you feel sick every morning, and then get really, really big, and then have to lie in a bed and push the baby out of a hole that was badly designed by a very strange misogynistic creator who obviously hates women more than he hates men, right? Why would you want to, right? So would you like to experience that experience? No, right? You wouldn't, would you? So why would you want to make someone else pregnant? Someone you love. Why would you make someone, what? Surely you would only make someone you really hate pregnant. Do you know what I mean? And hope that she had to have a cesarean section and she suffered from postnatal depression, right? But why would you do that to somebody you love, sir? Eh? Why? Because they want to. Oh, right, because they want to. That's not a reason, by the way. Just because they want to doesn't mean you should do it. It's not a very nice thing to do. And what's it got to do with them wanting to and you wanting to? What about the poor child as a result of this pregnancy? What about that? Why don't you think about the child? What? Oh, what if he cures cancer? Right, look at you with your cigarette, like the chances of your child curing cancer, my friend. Yeah, not that likely, is it? Number one. Number two, if you are such, if you believe in, that it's so important to cure cancer, by the way, why do we have to cure cancer? If you don't have a child, then the child won't need to be cured from cancer. Well, we don't have children, it wouldn't mean to find a cure for cancer, number three. Number three, if you are so into the idea of, you know, supporting the cure, or finding the cure of cancer, don't have your own kids, because that will take you off the thing. You have to start changing the nappies and trying to rule him in and force. Imagine what it's like to be a kid. Daddy, why did you have me? Oh, because I thought you might cure cancer. Oh, God, can you imagine a poor kid, right? Forget that. Just give your money to cancer, whatever research or whatever, or become a researcher yourself. You don't have to have a kid because they might cure cancer. Ridiculous. Because the chances are more likely that your child is going to be the next psychopath. I mean, you know, how many Keir Starmers are there in your ball sack? Huh? Do you know? No, there might be quite a number, right, of future Keir Starmers in there, right? You don't know. Much more likely than finding someone to cure cancer is to have someone like Keir Starmer in your ball sack. Which is why I say, go back to No Nut December. Hold back. Stop busting your nuts so much. Because you're only here and your problems, right, your problems will never be solved, and your problems, all of them, can be traced back to somebody busting their nuts. You, all of your problems, all of you, can be traced back to somebody busting their nuts. Which is why I encourage you guys, at least for 1 month, go without busting your nuts and think you can do just a little bit of a contribution to this country. We can get down the number of incidents of gonorrhea, genital warts, you know about that, chlamydia, syphilis, and worst of all, unwanted pregnancies, right? Now, basically, gentlemen, I know, and ladies, if there are any here, I know that you like to think that you were wanted, but the truth is, most of us were not really wanted, right? Your father bust his nuts. He was not thinking about having a child. That was the punishment. You are the punishment for your father busting his nuts, right? Certainly, I mean, looking at many of you here, if I would have busted my nuts, which I did, and I had you as a result, I would regard that as a very nasty punishment. Like this guy here, for example. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having gone through, imagine his poor mother going through all that, getting pregnant, pushing him out, and all that, spending all that money and time, and now he's ended up like this. What a disappointment you are. I know it's too late. So join us for No Nut December and stop busting your nuts so much. See if you can hold back, right? Because otherwise, this time next year, you could be hearing screaming sounds. Wah! 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 When all you wanted was busting your nut. Look, this is what happens here. Look, the poor guy over here now. All he wanted to do was bust his nuts that night, right? And now he's got the kids. Now he's got the kids. You wanted to blow up NATO?
All I want to do is blow up NATO.
Okay.
I'm going to blow them all up.
Good luck with that.
Be careful, you got big dick though. All I want to do is kill NATO by Putin. Yeah.
Okay. Can you manage without busting your nuts, ladies and gentlemen, for 31 days? You can't? Why not? You're a weak, pathetic individual.
Testing. So for those of you who are watching, we are now definitely coming to an end of this live stream, and I'm just summing up, but so it has been a good day down here. I started a bit late because it was raining, so I'm giving you an extra.
Hi, how are you?
I'm busy.
I'm busy now. Tell him. Tell him when it's going.
So who do you think you are?
What?
How dare you come and interrupt? You think you're special or something?
No, we're...
Yeah, but I'm finishing.
No finishing. It's now... What you have?
Come.
Yeah.
Come, so look into the camera. So,
where the camera?
So who are you?
Yes, where I can
Yes. Don't touch my stuff.
Haman.
Yeah, don't touch my stuff. Yeah. So what's your name?
Yeah, my name Abdurrahman.
So why are you down here at Speaker's Corner harassing StreetMic? Why are you down here?
Hard work. Yes, وجه البومة.
Sir, if you want to have a proper conversation, let's have a proper conversation.
No.
If not, I have better things to do with my life, and I won't waste my time on foolishness. Yeah. So, do you have something decent in which you would like to say, or are you just here to make yourself look great on social media? Which one is it?
No. Yes. No.
Do you know something which really does make me laugh? Yeah. Some people come down to Speaker's Corner. Yeah,
Yes.
Which you are now here. Yeah.
No.
And all they're interested in is making themselves look silly on social media. So continue making yourself look silly.
No, yes.
Continue making yourself look silly.
No. Yes, no. No.
I know. So anyway, that's what's really great about Speaker's Corner. You've got all types of different people down here. But my name is Wendell Daniel, and I am coming to an end now. And we did start earlier on we started 35 minutes late. So I'm finishing 35 minutes later. So come.
Oh, yeah, I'm Tony.
Come round.
I'm Tony.
Come round.
So
what would you like to say, sir?
I want to say that I think I'm on screen.
Yeah, we're live. I'm just shutting down. You're going.
Yeah, it's a bit early, isn't it?
No. I've got things to do.
Right.
I should have been finished at 4
What
o'clock.
you did for that young woman up in Manchester, was it Zaina?
Was Zaina Imam.
That was great. You went
Come
up there,
round.
yeah? You went up there? How'd you get up there, train?
I got on the train, sir.
You got on a train from London to Manchester?
Yeah, that's
to talk
correct.
To her? Yeah? That was,
come round, people can't see you.
And then what? You just come back after, or...?
No, I went down there, engaged with her. I've been engaging with her ever since.
Right.
And a lot of great things have come out of it since then. And, I will be going back to Manchester again. And we will be going to see Andy Burnham and others.
Right. So it was really great work. Well done.
See, that's the great thing.
Yeah, good one.
Too many people who are on social media, all they're interested in is views, likes, shares and follows. And making money.
Sometimes you just can't escape it here.
No, I disagree with you.
Well, I mean, if you're in business, I mean, for example, how much it cost you to get up to Manchester? You put it on expenses?
I put it on expenses.
Well, I mean, otherwise it's about 80 quid, isn't it?
No, but the point being...
Not many people could just do that.
No, people can do it, and I'll teach you how they can do it,
Well, I know.
Instead of relying on social media, engagement, or trying to monetize, what you can do is develop a business which people will pay you to live stream. That's what I've done, and I've done it very successfully.
Really?
Hence the reason, I can get this equipment, I can get on a train, I'll be going to America soon for the inauguration. You do not have to rely on social media, engagement, or clipping, and all that bullshit that everyone now likes.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm still...
Do you ever see me...
I'm still learning about different techniques, different...
Have you ever watched me?
Yeah, of course.
Have you ever seen me clip, yes or no?
Not really.
I don't do it.
I can't think of it.
I've got so much footage, I could probably make millions clipping. I refuse to clip. It's a and I also believe monetization is a corrupt practice.
Yeah,
if you
I
want me to
understand what you mean,
justify, I will justify it.
But anyway, as far as that lady's concerned,
Yeah, Zaina.
that was really great. And I think you've done a couple of others which have really helped them out. Put focus on them to get attention for them. So that's
of
a great
course.
thing.
Excellent stuff.
Well done.
Thank you
Take
very
care,
much.
take care.
Excellent stuff. So we are going to be shutting down now, and all I can say is thank you very much for watching. So thank you and big up. Thank you and goodbye. So we will be back next Sunday, I believe, from 1 till 4 p.m. And don't forget, in the future, we will be doing this with Urban Scoop, which is a Tommy Robinson media platform. And I'm just testing out some new equipment today. One of the issues, it was possible it could have cut out, but also there was a possibility there's a thing called lag. And what lag is, it's a slight being out with your speech. And that's something you put right over a period of time. And the only way you can do it is testing. But when you come down here, quite often, for unknown reasons, the longer you live stream, lag comes in. And I don't know technically why that is. So we will be shutting down now. And it has been great. And all I can say is thank you very much for watching. And goodbye. Hello. Do you want to come and say hello? Come and say hello. So am I. So what's your name?
Lina.
So where are you from, Lina?
I'm from Sweden.
Come round, Lina. People want to see a beautiful Swedish woman.
Yes, no camera, only sound.
No camera.
Yes, please.
So you want to do it discreetly?
Yes, I'm private.
See, but people can't. No, but people can't see nothing.
I can't.
No, I've just turned the camera over. No, I'm just turning the camera over there so people can see over there. Hold on.
What are you doing here? What are you
No. This is all. Hold on. Don't move the camera. No. But I have to focus. See, I can't give people a black screen. See, ask your question again. What am I doing? Come here. People can't see you. Come closer. Come closer. People can't see you, but they can hear. No, I won't. Go there, and I'll put the microphone. Come forward a bit. So what's your name?
Lina.
So you're from Sweden?
Sweden.
So what are you doing here in England?
Holiday, vacation.
So how long are you here for?
4 days.
4 days. So what do you hope to do during that 4-day period?
I hope to shop a lot of clothes.
Get a lot of clothes.
Yes, and go to Winter Wonderland.
Which is just behind us.
Yes, and eat a lot of good food. But so far...
You've spent a lot.
Yes, spent a lot of money.
But have you had the opportunity to meet any nice English men?
No, I haven't. But to be honest,
are you upset?
No, I'm not upset. But I expected more. I'm sorry, but I expected more from English men. Actually, like their fashion sense is very weird. If you know what I'm saying, you look great.
Thank you very much.
You're not included in this category.
So what is it about but because of their fashion sense, has that scared you off and said, hello, are you going to take me out for dinner?
Okay, first of all, if a man represents himself good with good clothes, fresh, he takes care of himself, that's number one. And second, I don't approach men, so no, I can't.
So what this young lady from Sweden is saying to me is that she would like a beautiful English gentleman to approach her, and she's here with her friend as well. What's your name?
Ranin.
And why did you decide to come to England for 4 days to do shopping, to go Winter Wonderland without a man? Why did you decide on that?
Because there is no man.
Yes, because there's no men, and London is beautiful in winter.
So
hello there.
I don't know who this geezer is. I'm talking. So, in what time is your ticket for Winter Wonderland?
We haven't reserved any tickets.
Oh, what? So you're just
the website didn't work.
So there's a man next to me now. Yeah. So he's listening. Yeah. So man, these two beautiful young ladies are upset. Did you hear?
Yeah.
They're upset. They've come all the way from Sweden, and they have not seen or identified a classy English man yet. Where can they find such a specimen?
I can start mentioning the place there. You can go to Battersea Station, you can go to like London Bridge, you can go to like Stratford.
Oh, you got places with train stations?
Yeah, tell me about this. No. I'm not referring to like train station. I'm referring to the area. If you go there, there's a lot of.
No, these ladies, they're not talking They're not talking Stratford.
Yeah.
They want Kensington. They want
someone who looks like you.
Yeah,
what do you mean? In what way? In what way? Fresh.
Class.
Okay.
Fresh, clean, classy.
Okay. I will repeat. Like you can go to Soho down there. It's really listen. That's a beautiful restaurant and bar.
Cold.
Very nice
Okay,
place.
but
No.
I have
Someone.
a question.
Yeah. What's the question?
Does men in England approach women?
Yeah, we do. Imagine if I saw you earlier, not here. I would, of course, I'll come to you and say, yeah, hello, beautiful. How are you?
Okay, but
Yeah,
I
will say
feel like men only stare like in a creepy way, and that's not very like inviting.
No. We don't.
You know what I mean? It's weird. Like you should approach a woman. You shouldn't look at her like she's like a snack.
No,
you should
alright.
look at her like, wow, you're so beautiful, and then approach her like, look, I couldn't stop staring and
Don't
stuff
you
like
think-
that.
don't
Like
you-
there's a nice way to do it.
But are you listening to what she's saying?
Yeah. But
what
don't you think that some men are not really confident enough to come up just like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
So
what do you
sometimes
put that
the
down
time
to?
that takes, it's just time to assess.
You
like,
know,
what to
that's,
do. You know.
that's the problem. Like getting women is so easy nowadays.
Big up.
I disagree.
How easy is it? Hold on, listen.
It's true.
What does the man have to do to get the ladies?
Yeah, like you.
Okay,
Beautiful
it
girl like
depends.
you.
Like a lady like me.
Beautiful girl like you.
He has to be fresh, clean, and sophisticated, and raised like properly. Like he can't be like, I don't know.
Can you mention specifically something?
I understand exactly what you're talking about.
But I want I want clarification of what you say.
Why do you need clarification?
No, because
you should know what she's talking about.
And I do know what she's talking about, but like there's a lot of people out there that they are not, they are confused.
Can
Can
I elaborate? Yeah. In my opinion,
What
a
you're
lot
saying.
of men in 2024 in England, because of social media, they've lost a skill. The skill they have lost, beautiful ladies, you know, they talk about chauvinistic. They would like the man to open the door.
I would disagree with you about that, because I have seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people that make moves, make the first move. What I'm saying, and still
But it's not just about opening up the door. It's how you do it.
You know why? Because you guys like made women comfortable that you message them on Instagram and stuff like that. So girls don't get approached anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird if a guy approaches me, like, but at the same time it's so like not sincere enough if he messaged me on Instagram. It's like
it's not a good point for men to say this, but I tell you what, a lot of people choose to do that because they're not confident enough to like approach women directly. And
They've lost their capability.
They lost their capability.
Back in the days, they always used to approach women.
Yeah,
like
because there's
now
no
they
social
don't.
media before. Back then, there's no social media.
Yeah, but guys, so you're a man. You have to go out and like interact with people and
She's a
learn
little
how
man.
to be
She's a little
social.
man.
Can you hear? She's sounding. There's something she's missing.
What am I missing?
Okay, I will
No,
say, listen.
you want a man to come and trap you.
But I don't want him to do it like in a in
With
nasty
class.
way.
With class.
Like I want you to be a gentleman, but a little secretive. Like don't come up to me and tell me your life story. I don't want that. Like make me wonder.
Hey, listen, go and enjoy yourself. It has been really great. I am confident you will meet
places around here
that you will
enjoy. See, like,
go
listen,
go
we're in London,
Kensington, go Knightsbridge.
Yeah.
You will see something different.
Okay.
Have you been there?
Oh, tonight you can go Graffiti Tunnel. There's a bachata, something like that. You can go, and there's a lot of good men there.
Okay, I'm not
Seems like
looking
you
for
are-
a man. I'm not looking for a man.
No, seems like you are.
No.
Okay.
I want
you are
the
making
man
an
to
argument.
come to me from like the sky and.
Aye, you're hearing her. Like an angel. Anyway, I've got to go. It has been great to engage. Thanks a lot. Excellent stuff. So for those of you who are watching, I hope you really did like that. Two beautiful young ladies. They didn't want to be shown, but they were happy for us to listen to them.
I'm sorry, I can't a little bit disagree with you. But you've been like really, really supporting her, telling her like people here are not really. Like, I'm not really fun enough. I'm not really charming enough.
It ain't about that.
We
It's
are.
not about that.
We are.
Men in 2024 do not understand what a woman's looking for.
Okay, I don't know.
You know what that is?
What
you
would
watch too much fucking rubbish on social media. Go out there, put your phone down, and learn the techniques how to woo a woman.
Do you know that?
You know how to woo a woman?
Listen.
When last you take a woman out for dinner?
I had my
Look.
Last week.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Last week.
What restaurant was it?
I took her somewhere very
What,
nice.
McDonald's?
No.
Or Nando's?
No. I took her something very nice. I'm not going to reveal the name, but I'm telling you, listen, it's not just about the men all the time. Yeah, I do know that some kind of like obstacle that from the men. Yeah, indeed, that is that. But like, even the women themselves, they don't know what they want. A lot of them, they don't. You understand?
They do. What does that woman want who you was listening to just now? Just her. What would she want?
She already make her point. Her point clear.
She want a sophisticated man to approach her with a
in the
bit
nice
of
way.
bit of.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go on. No? We're debating.
Yeah, she sounded like she didn't know what she wants. She said she wants a man to fall from the sky. That is a
No, but before she got there, did she not describe the type of man who would make her fall from the sky? Yes or no? You're thinking of it from a man's point of view. Listen to what the woman is saying.
I do listen with that, but like most of what she's saying, she just wants somebody very nice come to her, try to be nice to her, and try to attract, like show that he's attracted to her.
But what is
in
she
some certain
actually
way.
saying? Isn't she saying the people who approach her do the opposite?
They do the opposite, but herself, she does not clarify what is.
She don't
what kind
have to.
Yeah, no.
You gotta listen.
But, no. But like, if you are telling me I'm not good enough, you have to tell me what should I do to make me good, right? So
No, man.
I understand, my guy. We need to work together on this.
You understand what I mean? We need to work together.
Anyway, listen, this young lady here, Miss Shalini, come.
No, please let her go.
Hold on, no, we're just closing up.
She's gonna be screaming.
No. This is my ideal woman.
Yeah.
You know, come. We're talking.
She can be.
We're
Okay.
talking about what I was just interviewing two Swedish young ladies, and they said men have lost the ability to woo a woman. From
Do you believe
Shalini's point of view,
Do you believe that?
is that true? Men
lost
have
capability
to woo a woman.
Do you believe that?
Men don't know how to chat a gal up.
Attract a woman.
Attract the woman, yeah.
Okay. Because men think only woman should be very slim and trim, but the man is growing like a blob, like an elephant. He's becoming, his stomach is coming out, he's eating, no exercise, and they want to woo woman, it seems. If you want to woo a good-looking woman, you also should be looking good, na? What about the woman's choice? What about the woman's choice? What about the woman's choice? So you become like a frog? You look like a frog, and you want the woman to look like a lizard. Nice.
Do you believe men and women should be a team, work together?
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
Go on, go and debate. Go and debate. Go and debate, man. Go and debate, man. Go and debate. Go on. Let's debate.
Yeah.
I should have been shutting down now.
Yeah. Okay. Where is the camera?
Yeah, it's right there. All right.
The camera is going there. I
So,
think.
listen, we just had a young lady. She was here that she wants somebody sophisticated, someone Sherberry's, somebody really, really nice. And I say to her, what kind of value you hold that man has to be the way you describe it. So what is that woman what is that with the woman that they want about the man? What is that exactly? I just wanted something specific. What do you guys want?
First of all, a woman wants a good man who is loving, where she can trust him and she belongs to him.
No, before
and
you get to there, before, when you first meet him.
Okay. When I first meet him, if that man is expecting me to be a very good looking, very nice lady, so I should not expect him to look like an elephant or like a frog. I should expect him also to look very smart, very approachable and very good personality. That is with everyone, isn't it?
What type of impression do a man has to have, like, to approach a woman?
Okay.
Like you, example.
Okay. Man should, when they want to date a woman, they should have good shower. Some of the men, they don't have good shower and they come and they just want the woman to smell and good look. So, my dear friends, when you are dating a woman, you need to look smart, look decent, and look approachable. Not, don't show your muscles and all. We are not bothered about your muscles. We are bothered about your heart, okay?
Okay. Okay, he wants to ask a question.
She said you have to woo a woman, yeah? And as a man, I don't know how to woo you. So I need to come to you and we have to work together. Okay, this is how you woo me.
So why you want to woo me? Only for bed? No.
Okay.
So, my dear friends, nowadays, men want to woo a woman only to get her into bed. That's all.
No. That was not his point. No. He was trying to make a point. How can we be a team and work together?
Okay, I'll tell it from the Bible.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, in the Bible, God made man and woman to be a companion, to be together, not one over each other. Okay? So to be a companion in good and in bad times, to be a loving partner, to love each other, to respect each other, to belong to each other. That's what in the Bible it says that Eve was made from the rib of Adam. And it is to be on the side of the man, not ahead of him, not behind him. But nowadays what is happening to treat equally. And nowadays what is happening? Oh, woman means she has to be under me. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why is it, from your opinion, all a man wants to do is to woo a woman into bed? Why do you think that is?
Okay.
Is it because once he gets into bed, things are so sweet?
Okay. I said nowadays men want to woo a woman just to get her into bed.
Why is that?
Why? Because there is so much sexual immorality. Sexual sin is coming in this world. Every man wants a woman.
Where do you think that come from? From men's side or from women's side? Where do you think that come from?
It's all happening in the world from both sides. Nowadays, where man and woman are together only to get into sexual relationship. After some time, she will enjoy with him for money and he will enjoy with her in the bed. After some time, he will leave her and find another woman. That is what is happening in the world. But in 20, 30 years back, a couple gets married.
I tell you what. You know why is that happening?
Let me finish now. In in 20-30 years time, man and woman, they respect each other, and they have been in a marriage for 60 years, and that is a loving relationship.
The point I was trying to make to you is that man and woman have to work as a team together.
Yes,
You understand?
always.
I agree with one thing you said, that women shouldn't be less or
no,
more than man.
No.
Exactly. But what I'm saying to you, what is the role of women to be a team, with the man?
Okay.
Like that they can act, like they can build up something meaningful together. What
Okay.
is that?
Let me add. If we go out on a date, I'm supposed to pay. We don't even split the bill. And yet you're saying we're a team, but I'm paying.
Okay.
Is that all right?
No. Yeah, it's okay. No, listen. No, I'm telling you. No, listen. In this country, everybody pays their own bills, okay? In my country, when I'm going with a man, he will pay because, that's a respect for him. That's what... in India.
Hold on.
In India, it is
Hold
like
on.
this. Yeah.
When I took you out for dinner the other day, didn't I pay?
Yes, you paid. Yes. See?
No.
When brother StreetMic, we went to South Hall to make a video, and he was the one who paid. So that is gentlemanness.
No. That's maybe. Listen. Are you okay? Were you two going out in to date each other or to work with each other? What is that you went out together for?
So why are you meeting out that woman for what? To work?
No. I'm saying you went out with him and he was trying to be a gentleman, right?
Yes.
And I was asking you, did he went out with you for a date? No, you went out.
I was pretending I was a gentleman.
Pretending. You said
Okay.
pretending.
StreetMic brother was pretending that he's on a date with me, but I went to make a video with him in South Hall. So my dear friends, but he was so kind, he was so gentleman that he paid the bill for me.
Do you believe men nowadays are trust loyal?
Okay. What I'm saying is nowadays men have become very selfish. Yeah.
You just said
Yes.
you just made
and women.
Let me made a beautiful statement about this gentleman.
Let me finish. Man has become selfish, and woman has become, only seeking for advantage.
Satisfaction. Okay.
Advantage from the man.
Okay.
But when you date somebody, it's from both the side. It should be giving and taking, receiving and giving. It's from both the side. That does not mean every time man has to pay. When woman is earning,
What
she
are
can
you
also
going to
pay.
give me next time I take you out?
Okay. Next time, brother StreetMic is coming to make a video with me. I will pay because my God loves me and He has provided for me.
Okay. I love it. You make it.
Men, yeah?
Huh?
If you go on a date with two men, yeah? One of them pays the bill, and one of them says, no, we are splitting this bill. After that date, which one would you be like?
Which one would you feel happy, comfortable
Okay.
to go out with?
The one who pays the bill. Yeah. But that does not mean that every time he has to pay the bill.
No.
Woman can also pay. When she's earning, when she has money, whether she's earning or not, she still has money. She can also pay.
What do you think of
Yeah.
What do you think of feminists?
Feminist?
Yeah.
Arey yaar, that's a big topic. It's a big topic.
Yeah, I just want to hear you. What do you think? Yeah, because what you say contradicts a little bit of the reality of today. Because if we look
How
at
is it contradicting?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's contradicted because majority of young people, girls today, literally they do not share the same of mentality that you have right now. So what I'm telling you, what is it like a woman has to offer for a man in order to come together as in that field?
Okay. A relationship between man and a woman flourishes.
Because if I will have to pay the utilities, the bill, whatever, then what's the role of the woman in that relationship?
Okay. If the man is paying the utility bill, the woman has to cook the food, make sure she cleans the house, make sure everything is ready when the man comes home.
I can do that too.
It is give and take matter in a relationship, and it's compromises. You don't say, oh, I cannot, you have to compromise with each other. With your likenesses, you have to compromise with each other. Man will say, I don't want to go there. So woman can say, okay, fine, we won't go there. Let's go there. It is a give and take relationship.
So
every time with man and woman. A relationship between a man and woman is never one-sided. It's both-sided.
Never, I know.
Yes.
I do know it's never one-sided. So no, the thing is here. Hear me out.
In the chat, someone has just said his missus rules the roost.
She rules the world.
Yeah, she rules the house. Yes.
He rules the house
Rob
or she
has
rules
said,
over him?
My missus rules the house.
Yeah.
Or ruling over him?
Yes.
Okay.
My missus also. Mrs. StreetMic.
A lot of men that can't go even in argument.
Mrs. StreetMic
First of
says
all-
the same.
First of all, man gets scared of his wife. Huh? That's all. That is true. He can talk very much
that's okay.
outside, but
that's
inside
okay.
the house,
You think
he's
that's
like a rat
But
inside the house.
he don't get no pum pum, does he?
Huh?
Yeah, he's like a mouse.
He's like a rat inside like a mouse inside the house. So, my dear friends, I tell the woman, don't make your husband like a rat. Let him also have freedom of making decisions. Don't rule over him. But if he is a drunkard, he cannot make any proper decisions.
How's that freedom look like, in your opinion?
Freedom?
Yeah.
We need to give.
How's that freedom that man should have look like in your eyes, in your opinion?
Okay. Freedom means loving each other and respecting each other and compromising with each other in a relationship. That is giving freedom. You don't love anybody by force.
So if
you
I have
love
to pay,
by choice.
If I have to pay 100% bill, does that mean we share respect? Huh?
Pardon?
I say,
No, she's
okay. I say if I take care of the bills, pay everything, does that mean that we share
And
the
you are the
respect?
man of the house,
yeah,
na?
Yeah.
It's okay. But
Does
the
that
woman.
mean we share the responsibility. Like,
Yes. So listen, if man is earning money and if that bills are not, that money is not sufficient to pay the bills, if woman is earning, they both have to share. It's not my money, your money. You cannot do that in a marriage life. It's both money, both of us. So it has to be spent in the house for in the interest of the house, you know. It is your family, it is your children, it is your wife, it is your husband. You have to build that house together. You cannot say, that is my money, I'm not going to give you. It does not happen like that, my dear.
Let me just okay. What do you think with the men today, young men as us, yeah? What do you think we suffer from?
What do you think young men are suffering from?
What do you think we suffer
Are you
from?
married?
No, like when we see a woman, what do you think goes in our head?
Okay. When nowadays young man, he is.
Don't say sex, please.
Huh?
Don't say sex.
Why?
What do you think? Because
Okay.
you are still making the design.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not like it's
Okay.
not like that. It's not all men what they are looking for.
Okay.
Is sex. No, it's not all what we see.
So young men, they want to have a woman in their life, but they are looking for a good homely woman who respects, who loves him and who loves him without conditions and who is, willing to be with him in good times and in bad times.
Yeah.
That is called a loving relationship.
Yeah, but like it doesn't work this way. Nowadays, kinda.
Because nowadays, commitment part in the marriage is gone. They don't want to commit.
Hold on. So if because he's just saying commitment is gone, it's not there anymore. So because I do know that commitment is gone, it's not there. Why do you think I will suffer myself to try to look something, try commit to somebody? Why do you think I will do that?
Okay. Another thing I will say that he wants to have a woman in his life, but I can only say there are many wrong women will come in your life. But when you pray to God and ask God that give me the right woman, and God will bring that woman in front of you. Don't worry. God loves you and He wants you to have a good life, a good wife, and a good marriage.
Listen, you see, you are backing up your argument with God. Listen, nobody can argue.
And says, God send me to you.
Yeah.
Would you accept?
Would you accept that?
If his character is filthy, do you think God sent him?
No. Okay, imagine he just come up to you and they say, God.
Of course, I will test him. What
So
is
you-
exactly?
So
And you know, these men, they say, oh, woman should be like this, woman should be like that. Arey, we also have a choice. I'm not going to have a man who has a big nose and big everything and like a frog he's looking. That is not my choice. I want a good-looking man as well.
Of course. Okay, you can have your own choice. You can have your own choice. But we're talking about in general with the man.
You want some things to be big.
You want some... Whoa! That was
Okay. In the end...
Hold on. The thing with the man you want to be gigantic...
Okay, in the end...
Not big, but gigantic, is his wallet.
Okay.
Not just that.
So, my dear friends, nowadays, the sex in a marriage life is no more a loving relationship. Nowadays, the sex in the world is only for physical lust. But God has made a man and a woman together as a husband and wife, and they need to honor the sex life in their marriage as well.
There's a lot of people that claim to be in love. Why are you disputing their love?
What?
Because you just say like nowadays.
In what way they are in love? What way?
They made a claim that if you can see it in the reality, they are
in love?
showing. They're in love.
Okay. You don't have to show your love to the world. Nowadays, young boy and woman in the train, they are kissing each other, they are hugging each other. Why don't you do that in the house? Why there is so much divorces?
We
and
want to
there are only
teach you
two
how
marriages?
to do it properly.
But my dear friends, love is respect and compromise and love each other and honor each other.
I think
How do you know that hasn't already been tackled? Sir, no, let's finish there because... No, listen, the rain, I'm not getting my equipment wet.
Okay, thank you very much. We had a good time talking about
I thought you was giving
between
her
a
your
man and a
coat.
woman. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So much.
So, Shalini, thank you very much. So, for those of you who are watching, we're now going. It's raining. Big up.
With godly respect, honor, and belongingness. That is called love. God is love,
Big up.
and God has loved us with an unconditional love. And God loves all.
Big up. Big up. Big up. We're gone. Thank you very much. See you next week. Goodbye.